Duckham's, sponsors of the Nationwide Football League on Sky Sports.
Mark Goldberg arrived full of hope, but left a broken man as the football club he loves sunk to its knees in financial ruin, leaving Steve Coppell to pick up the pieces.
We lost a substantial number of coaching staff when Terry and his team went, and now we're losing players. So, you know, it's fairly bleak at the moment.
And it's been pretty bleak at Swindon Town as well. The Robins have struggled on and off the pitch. Player of the Year George Undar had to be sold, at which point Chairman Ricky Hunt resigned, saying he'd done all he could. Cliff Puffett succeeded him, and he promptly sacked 15 members of the backroom staff. He also sold their other major assets. Mark Walters went to Bristol Rovers, Ife Onura and Ty Gooden to Gillingham, leaving manager Jimmy Quinn with little room for manoeuvre.
People have had to be laid off. We're down to the bare bones, but you know, it's important that we keep the club running. That's why it's all been done.
Tonight, the two sides meet in a game of survival.
It is going to be a difficult game, and I'd imagine it'll be a close game as well.
It's massive for us as far as I'm concerned. It's a massive game.
Jimmy Quinn and Steve Coppell fully aware of the significance of tonight's encounter. We are at the County Ground this evening, live on Sky Sports 2 with interactive coverage for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. It's the Robins, bottom of the First Division pecking order, against the Eagles, who've occasionally hit the heights this season, only to crash back down to earth. Good evening. 20 years ago, Palace were being labelled the team of the 80s, but the 21st century finds them in a right old mess, and it surely can't get much worse for Swindon. No team in the country has won fewer games than them, and they have the second worst goal difference in the Nationwide League. So they're in need of a lift. Can Ray and Nigel provide it? Ray, are Swindon doomed?
Do you mean from the First Division?
Yes. Initially.
I would have to say, Marcus, you're never doomed until it's mathematically impossible. You know, they're 7 points adrift of the fourth place Walsall. Fourth place from bottom, should I say, Walsall. So they've got a chance, they've got half a chance, but they've only won 3 games this year. The last league win was in October, which is a little bit embarrassing from their point of view. But nothing is impossible, Marcus. They've just got to rally round and get themselves going.
Only 2 of the players available tonight have scored at first team level. That rather says it all, though, doesn't it?
It is. It's very difficult because morale goes. And once the morale goes, then it's very difficult for Jimmy to pick his players up, and it's going to be a tough old evening for them.
I suppose Crystal Palace, Nigel, have become accustomed to eking out a living.
I think Steve Coppell's done a tremendous job there. And the players, it has to be said, the players have pulled together and really have got them out of trouble. But at least they're scoring goals, something that Swindon aren't doing. And I think tonight, if they get an away draw, it'd be a good result for them. I think Swindon must win this game.
Well, a look at the league table confirms just how serious a position Swindon find themselves in. Defeat for them tonight and a win for Walsall tomorrow, and they'd effectively be 11 points adrift, and the odds on them surviving aren't good when you consider that Bristol City, who finished bottom last season, were 6 points better off at this stage. As far as the other strugglers are concerned this weekend, well, Portsmouth go to Stockport, Port Vale are at home to Birmingham, Walsall themselves visit Crewe in a 6-pointer. There's also a big game at the City Ground where Nottingham Forest face the team immediately below them, West Brom. A win for Palace will take them level with Bolton, but Wanderers have a far superior goal difference. Up top, Fulham entertain Grimsby, Wolves meet Queen's Park Rangers, Blackburn are at Barnsley in one of the games of the day, faltering Huddersfield take on Tranmere, Ipswich are at Bolton, Manchester City go to Sheffield United, and the leaders Charlton travel to Norwich. Well, it has been a thoroughly depressing season for everyone connected with Swindon Town. New chairman Cliff Puffett is charged with the responsibility of saving the club. He's already had to be ruthless, drastically reducing staff numbers. Alan Bentley asked him how difficult a job that had been.
There's some real committed people here and give their all and devotion to the game. And, you know, for me to have to sit down with them and sort of say, look, you know, I'm sorry, this club can no longer afford, that was very, very painful indeed and hurtful. I just hope they will understand. And I do thank them for the efforts for this football club, and I do wish them more than well for the future, but it was very, very painful indeed, yeah.
And I suppose the $6 million question is, why and how do football clubs in general get themselves into this mess? Because you're not alone, are you?
No, and I think what it is all about, Alan, is chasing the dream. We've had a touch of what it's like in the Premier League. We loved it. I know our results weren't that good, but we did love the presence of being part of the big time. And people will continue to chase their dream. But you know what they've got to do is really keep their business hat on and say to themselves, look, okay, we'll make that sort of commitment. But really, I think you can only make it a commitment like that based upon sort of performance-related pay. I mean, I have no compunction about the likes of Keane at Man United getting £52,000 a week, but you know, the man puts it in and day out every week, and he earns his money for me. But I have to say, I've rather a malignant view on some players that's now still within the game that is not ready to go out and give that kind of return for their money.
Is that the case perhaps too within this club even?
I think so, within this club and with many of the clubs. I've spoke to many chairmen around the league, and there isn't a club that didn't have that element of players that don't want to sort of get off the injury bench, if you like, and get out there and give them 110%, which is what you need when your backs are to the wall and when you're at the bottom of the league.
A couple of players have already gone in the last few months. Do you envisage further departures?
Well, I have to sort of say that, you know, because of the circumstances we're in, we've got to look at all offers for any of our players, right. You know, right through the whole sort of squad. But we have, I feel, got down to a nucleus of a squad that is going to be part of our thinking for next season, yeah.
What division will you be in?
Well, I'd like to say that you know, we can remain here, but it's a tough task. And but what I would say, even if we do go down, if we do relegate, and I don't want to accept that at this minute in time. You know, you're still there until the fat lady sings, sort of thing. And people will say, well, she's on the stage now. But you know, I've not accepted that, and nor have anybody in this football club accepted that until the final whistle's blown. But if we do, at least we'll be prepared to sort of cope with life in a different division.
Of course, it isn't all doom and gloom. There has been talk of players coming in. I mean, what's the latest on Jan Åge Fjørtoft?
Well, that's a bit of excitement for me, and I hope excitement for the fans, really, because I just heard through the grapevine that he was anxious to come back to England. And I tracked him down and spoke to him. He was on a short break in Cyprus. And I just said, Jan, is this a flyer in the sky, or do you really mean it? And he said to me that he did really mean it, and he remembers that he had a happy time here at Swindon. His family would be keen to sort of move back to this part of the country. They had an enjoyable time. It's now a case of whether I can afford him, really. And what I'll be doing is if there is a deal to be sort of struck there, is quickly going out to every source I can actually tap and say, look, here's a guy that might be the saviour, our Messiah here, and get us out of the problems that we can. Can you come in and help us support that? And if I can get sufficient sponsorship to sort of top up his wages, yeah, it'd be a nice coup.
Well, Fjørtoft was a huge favourite at the county ground, but Nigel, bearing in mind their current financial situation, it doesn't seem a very practical solution. You, of course, know Fjørtoft very well, don't you?
Yeah, Jan was at Sheffield United with me. He did very well for me, but he's over in Eintracht Frankfurt now, and I can't see really that they would be able, Swindon first of all, would be able to afford his wages, let alone the transfer fee if they're losing £25,000 a week, as the chairman says there. But it would be a good coup for them if they could get him, but I don't know if he will look forward to coming over and really playing for them. But time will tell.
He also spoke about performance-related pay. Interesting topic of conversation. He obviously wasn't terribly happy with some of his own players on the evidence of that interview,
But you also
Raymond.
mentioned Roy Keane as well, the guy who goes out and gives it everything week in, week out. I don't think there's any professional player that doesn't go out and give of his best. It's up to you to get the best out of those people that are working for you. And I thought he was a little bit anti his own unit there for a second, when he wants everybody to pull together. Probably chose the wrong words at certain times, I would have thought.
Is performance-related pay a practical possibility in professional football, Nigel?
Well, I think it's very difficult, Marcus. I think you can have things like when young players come through, you normally give them appearance money, things like that, to give them that incentive to get into the team. But now with the Bosman ruling, everybody's out there trying to get what they can, and players are in a powerful position now. It's the clubs really who have to cater for the players, rather than the other way around when Ray and I were playing.
Yeah. OK, well, time now for a potted history of Swindon's rather depressing story so far. Following a goalless draw at Walsall on the opening day of the season, Swindon played host to Ipswich in front of the Sky Sports cameras.
Grazioli! Oh, would you believe it? Holland had turned up in the box, it's fallen to Naylor! Right here, looks for Vilnius. And he's just got the edge on Robinson! And Johnson's there!
At Selhurst Park, Clinton Morrison put Crystal Palace ahead in the 11th minute with a top-class strike. But the Robins claim their first win with goals from Grazioli and Iffy Onura. Having picked up only 2 points from their next 5 games, Swindon took the lead against Blackburn through a goal credited to Mark Walters. And he then cut the ball across for Bobby Howe to secure a vital victory for Jimmy Quinn's men, despite a late consolation from Egil Ostenstadt. At Craven Cottage, they went down by a single goal to unbeaten Fulham. Jimmy Glass failed to hold on to Steve Hayward's free kick, and Jeff Horsfield was there to tap in the loose ball. And that defeat meant Swindon dropped 1 place to bottom of the table, having registered only 2 victories from their opening 12 league games. Their problems weren't confined to the pitch alone. With the club reportedly losing £25,000 a week, George Undar signed for Wolves for $1 million, and Cliff Puffett replaced Ricky Hunt as club chairman.
For me, a chairman's role and a board of directors' role is, to a degree, insignificant. What's going to turn this club around is their performance on the pitch and the fans coming in and turning it out in numbers.
The players responded to their new chairman's wishes with a 2-1 win over Port Vale. Grazioli headed the decisive goal in the 89th minute, giving Swindon only their 3rd win of the season so far. They travelled to Main Road, having managed just 4 points from their previous 7 games, losing Mark Walters on a free transfer to Bristol Rovers on the way. And they were no match for Manchester City. Robert Taylor, one of the men on target for them. They were down to the bare bones at Ipswich last week with 5 inexperienced youngsters on the bench, and another heavy defeat meant they'd taken just 18 points from a possible 81. Well, the graph does not make good reading, does it? Never higher than 15th and possibly destined to remain bottom for the rest of the season. Just 3 wins, the joint fewest in the country, along with Sheffield Wednesday, Blackpool, Chesterfield and Cambridge. They're the 3rd lowest scorers in the country. Only Chesterfield and Bradford have managed fewer, and only Grimsby have conceded more in the 1st Division. Well, Jimmy Quinn has tried to remain positive throughout. Let's hear from him now. He is talking to Alan Bentley.
Jim, the financial constraints here may be a difficult pill to swallow, but do you understand the position the chairman's in?
Yes, I do. When you're losing £25,000 a week, which we have done for quite some time, you just can't do it any longer. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of people had to lose their jobs in recent weeks, and it's been a difficult period for the club. But we've got a game tonight. It's live on Sky, and as far as the players are concerned, they're doing a job they love doing. Most of the country will be watching us tonight, and it's up to us to go out there and prove we're perhaps in a false position in the league.
I mean, how generally is the morale at the club then?
Well, the player spirit's always been very good. It's been difficult because we've had to sell players to keep the thing going, to pay wages and stuff. And, you know, you do get down from time to time as a player when that happens. But I've done my best to try and lift the lads and say, well, listen, it's just the circumstances. You know, we've got to remain positive and keep the spirits high. Enjoy what we're doing. They've enjoyed the training, and we just need to transfer it onto the pitch. And the next 3 games we got are very important to us. And starting tonight, if we could get 3 points, it would make a big difference, and the confidence hopefully will come flooding back and we start climbing the league.
You talk about player sales. The chairman's been public about the fact that he's trying to get Jan Arge Fjord off here. Is that something you're behind as well?
Well, it come through a newspaper man actually that Jan Arge would love to come back to Swindon. What I would say is if Jan did want to come to Swindon, he'd have to come on our terms. As I've said, people have had to lose their jobs recently, and what we're doing is trying to you know, live not beyond our means. Sorry. In other words, not spend money we haven't got to spend. So if Jan wanted to come for the sort of money we could offer, then certainly we'll have a look at that.
And finally, how do you assess your league position at the moment, Jim?
Well, we've drawn 6 games at home, and the difference is if we'd have won 2 or 3 of those, we'd have been in a healthy position. Away form hasn't been the best, but that goes hand in hand with having to sell sort of 3 or 4 of our best players to keep the thing going. I've got a lot of youngsters coming through, and that's the thing that keeps me going. It's you know, we've got 3 or 4 young lads in the team tonight, and I'm looking forward to watching them play. I know Crystal Palace are in a similar situation. They've got some young lads playing tonight, and it should be a good game. And you know, hopefully, you know, we've been hitting the bar and the post, and I just hope that 1 or 2 of those that have been hitting the bar and the post will start going in for us, and you know, we get a change of luck.
Thanks for talking to us. Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Situation's been so bad this season, he had to come out of retirement. He's injured at the moment. But Nigel, it's not an enviable position for a young manager like Jimmy Quinn to be in, is it?
It's not at all, but he's doing the best he can with the resources he's got. He spoke very, very well there, and unfortunately he's had to play himself, as you say. But when you're down in that position and they're 5 points adrift from the second to bottom team, you don't get that luck, and they need a little bit of luck to get them out of this hole. But with having to sell players with the calibre of Nadar and Honora, people like this, I mean, you can't replace those if you haven't got the money, and you're relying on the youngsters to come through. It's difficult for the youngsters to come into a struggling side and show what they can do, but you've got to stick with it and hope that your luck changes and someone comes along and gives you a little bit of money and says, well, we can go out and get 1 or 2 players and try and, you know, have a go. But I think under Steve McMahon they went down. You know, I think about 3 seasons ago. They were lucky, bounced straight back, and they've stayed in the division, but it looks very precarious for them at the moment.
Well, I presume he has 16 pros to select from this evening. Let's get all the team news now with Alan Bentley.
Yes, he does have 16 to choose from, but just picking up on something you touched on, Marcus. In fact, only one of the starting 11 has scored a goal, and that is Chris Hay. It really is an astonishing statistic, isn't it? As to the 16, here we go then, starting with Swindon Town. And number 3, Gareth Hall. He was born in Croydon, i.e. Palace's home patch. Once of Chelsea and Sunderland, while 12, Alan Reeves played for Palace's tenants, Wimbledon. It's a first start for young defender 24, Sam Campagna, while both 21, Sol Davis, and 16, Lee Collins return after suspension. 8, Mark McCammon on loan from Charlton. He's back up front after ankle ligament trouble. 2 Scots to highlight now. First of all, skipper Scott Leach. He wears number 4. He took over as captain when Brian Burrows retired at the end of last season. Once of Dunfermline and Hearts, he's the latest player to be linked with a move away. As I say, number 15, Chris Hay, the only one in the 11 to have scored this season. 7, Bobby Howe is the other one. He's on the bench, of course. Once of Celtic, young Chris Hay, top scorer with 5 this season. This after an injury-interrupted campaign last time around. As for Palace, how do they line up? Well, here we go. Skipper Craig Foster wearing 15. He returns in midfield. 4, Dean Austin is back in defence after suspension, while 10, Clinton Morrison comes in for the injured Matthias Svensson. It's Morrison's first start since the beginning of October. Nonetheless, he's still got 7 goals this season, and that's 1 more than the Player of the Year, number 7, the highly rated Hayden Mullins. Should have mentioned, I suppose, that Fraser Digby in goal made over 500 appearances for Swindon. A couple of veterans at the back, starting with number 17, Andy Linnigan, played in Palace's last win over Swindon back in 1997. Once of Arsenal, of course, he's now approaching 700 career appearances. He's an ever-present this season. 35, Terry Phelan, he's in a second loan spell at the club. He can count Manchester City amongst his former clubs. This is the last game of his loan spell from Everton. He hasn't scored in the league for over 6 years, but really, the problems about goal scoring, they remain with Swindon.
They certainly do, Alan. Thank you very much indeed. We are at the Caddy Ground tonight for the Paupers Derby, as it's being labelled. 7:45 kickoff. Match of vital importance for both teams. It goes without saying. We'll hear from Steve Coppell after the break. He is a man with a mission.
We've got a job to do. In the next 4 months, we've got a massive job to do.
You are entering the Saturday experience. 4 zones of... and... Start off in the scrummage zone and see Union's big Premiership derby. Then follow the arrows to the tackle zone for League giant St Helens v Melbourne. Proceed to the knockout zone where the Commonwealth flyweight title is the main event. And finally, inside the Smackdown zone, beware a late-night wrestling rampage. Be ready at 1:30 for the Saturday experience on Sky Sports. Not for the faint-hearted.
So what time's it over there, Dad?
It's 4:30. Have you got your next move ready?
Yep. Bishop tonight too.
Not bad. Anyway, it's your bedtime.
With fax and email as well as the phone, it's never been easier to stay in touch.
Think he's got us this time. Just shows what a good teacher you are, Dad.
BT. Stay in touch.
The new Hyundai Accent comes with power steering, dual airbags and a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty. At £7,699, it's a large hatchback for the price of some small ones. What more could you ask for? Sorry, the World Championship Rally version isn't for sale. The new Hyundai Accent. Call 0800 981 981. Hyundai. Prepare to want one.
Wanna go computing and play it really cool? I got some tricks to show you. You mightn't learn at school.
PC Ace will show you how to use programs.
Great!
Create graphics.
Brilliant!
Be a whiz at games.
Got it.
Surf the internet.
Log on to FreeZone.
How to do everything. Every technique is clearly explained and it's packed with useful tips. PC Ace comes with a collection of full-version CD-ROMs. Get the first 2 with Part 1 now. All for $1.99.
Unbelievable!
Señoras y señores, la carrera está por comenzar. ¡Aprobado! En su marca. ¡Listo! ¡Listo!
Sorry, what?
What that means is that every penny Bupa makes goes back into providing people with better health and care.
All right.
Nice crocodile.
Dad, come on!
To find out what Bupa can do for you, call 0800 00 1010.
Choice of cricket on Sunday, 3:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Extra. It's Australia against Pakistan. And then at 7:30, it's South Africa, England on Sky Sports 2. And there's a new way to watch that England match on Sky Digital, where we're offering special access to constantly updated highlights and 2 new stats channels. It's another first from Sky Digital. The Robins are home to roost tonight, and the cash-starved club needs a boost against Crystal Palace. But they're not favourites with the bookies. Palace are 6-5, Swindon 7-4, and the draw 9-4. Well, Steve Coppell is now in his fourth spell in charge of Crystal Palace, and it is unquestionably the most challenging role he's ever undertaken. He's been talking to Chris Kamara about life on the football breadline.
Well, I've just got to ask you this, Steve. Juventus and Strasbourg have now turned down the administrator's offer of a settlement. What does that mean for Crystal Palace Football Club?
Well, it's complicated. You know, it is a game of politics, financial politics. Both those clubs are owed substantial amounts of money. What it means in terms of the future of Crystal Palace, I don't really know. A solution has to be found. In an ideal world, we would have an owner who would come in, a Jack Walker type, who would just put all these problems in the bin. I think there's an awful lot of talking to be done. There's an awful lot of negotiating to be done. Our prospective new owner, I think, is just looking for a finite situation. This is the amount I have to pay. This is the total debt. At the moment, there is a grey area where the Strasbourg and Juventus debt hasn't been defined. Once it's defined, we're all hopeful that somebody will come in and we can go forward.
Considering a lot of the players are owed loads and loads of money by the football club, how easy has it been to work with them? They've
been terrific. You know, I think it's all too easy these days to say, the lad's done great for me and this, but given our circumstances, the players are owed a lot of money. For them to come in, week out, and it's gone on for 10 months now, to give the commitment they have over that period has been a wonderful compliment to them as individuals and to footballers as a profession.
Well, Friday night's game, obviously it's the have-nothings versus we really have nothings. Which one are you?
Well, we're both in the same boat now. I don't think Swindon are in administration as yet. They've made voluntary changes, as it were. But I think it's just a fact of football in life now. The First Division in the Premiership, there is a massive gap. We've suffered through bad management. Now, to aspire to be a top club, you have to make a calculated gamble with your squad. You have to try and invest in your players, and when it looks as if it's going to go wrong, then you have to unload quickly. And I think a lot of clubs at the moment are in a financial mess. And I think the realistic way out of it is to cut your cloth accordingly. Swindon have had to do it dramatically. We did it dramatically last year. So it should be an interesting game.
Yeah, so
there'll be no sandwiches at the end. We'll have to buy our own teas at half-time and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, Jimmy Quinn, you were in the same position as Jimmy Quinn 12 months ago. So what's the secret of getting out?
Well, I think everyone realises once, I believe, reading the papers, they've had to lose 30-odd members of staff. We lost 46 at one stage. And when you do that, the rest of the people there really do gel together and bond together. And, I think Jimmy will be surprised to see that everyone who is left will work that little bit harder. It's like having 10 men. Everyone does do that little bit more because they realise the future of the club is in their hands, or more directly in their feet, and they have to accept that responsibility. There's no walking away from it. My players have done that, but every week is a new test. This is a new test. Be two clubs literally fighting for their lives on Friday.
Is it important as that, is it?
Well, it's massive. It's massive for us as far as I'm concerned. It's a massive game. We have 19 games left. There are 19 cup finals. But when you look at the teams who are below you in the league, it's just that little bit extra significance in those games. They're the games you feel as if you've got to get a return from.
Well, Steve, having fallen in and out of love with football management over the years, you must be head over heels in love at the moment when you consider what you've achieved over the last 12 months.
Well, yeah, but in many ways it's almost negative achievement. We're surviving and we are in existence. And if that's an achievement, then we've done a lot. And to be fair, it is. It is a hell of an achievement. We've sold £6 million worth of player to be in existence. We've cut our footballing wage bill by over £4 million a year, and that is an achievement. But I think any manager would tell you the achievement in management is up at the sharp end, the top end. And I'd love to be involved with Palace up at that end rather than forever looking over our shoulder at the bottom end and looking at the bank manager and looking at the administrator and trying to keep all the balls up in the air.
Well, I know all the managers in the game and they admire what you've done at this football club.
Cheers, Chris.
Chairmen at other football clubs must be thinking that. Steve Coppell kick on from Crystal Palace as well?
Well, this is a week-to-week thing, as I've said. You know, I enjoy being at Crystal Palace. I have a real affinity with the people here. We've got a job to do. In the next 4 months, we've got a massive job to do. And we'll go on from there, and I'll go on from there and see what happens.
He's thrived on the challenge, no doubt about that. But Ray, how long can he keep working on a shoestring? It's too much like hard work, isn't it?
It is, but I think he loves it. He's a fantastic guy, Steve, and he's what he is, Marcus. He's a wonderful professional, and I think that's what's coming over in his team as well. They're playing for him. They're running through a brick wall for him. They're in dire straits, but he's very philosophical about the whole situation. And if anyone can keep them where they are at the moment and keep them in the division, he can. He's a great guy, and I'm sure there are chairmen out there just having a little look and waiting to see if something does happen there, and they will snap him up because he's done a wonderful job.
Yeah, he made the analogy that it's a bit like having only 10 men left on the field. Everyone clubs together and gives that little bit extra, which is absolutely essential, of course, isn't it?
It is right, but I think, you know, Steve's obviously motivated them well. They're not getting the money they're owed, but they've all pulled together and say, well, let's get out of this together, and they're doing that, and good luck to them.
So, plenty of problems for Palace this season. 1 or 2 highs as well. It was 24 hours before their second league fixture of the season at Barnsley that Mark Goldberg decided enough was enough and resigned as club chairman. Initially, the players responded in a positive way and secured their first win of the season, Lee Bradbury with the winner in a 3-2 thriller. But it wasn't to last. They lost their next game at home to Swindon before travelling to the McAlpine Stadium for a match they'll want to forget. Clyde Weinhardt scored a hat-trick in a 7-1 trouncing. Confidence had been knocked. They lost their next game at Sheffield United 3-1 and then faced another difficult trip to Main Road. They took the lead through Clinton Morrison in the 5th minute, but Richard Jobson equalised shortly before half-time, and 8 minutes later, Gareth Taylor netted City's winner. That defeat left Palace bottom of the pile, albeit only for a week. Next time out, they crushed Grimsby 3-0 to move clear of the relegation zone, which they've avoided ever since. They drew the next 2 league games before entertaining Portsmouth at Selhurst Park. It was one of those days when everything went according to plan and they ran out 4-0 winners. But their inconsistent form continued. Just 1 point from the next 2 games. They looked like gaining all 3 against Tranmere when Dean Austin gave them a 2-0 lead before half-time. It wasn't to last. Gary Jones pulled 1 back and Andy Parkinson stuck the knife in with a 90th minute equaliser. When they faced Queen's Park Rangers in the middle of November, they'd gained just 2 points from a possible 18, but Leon McKenzie gave them just the start they were looking for, a goal in the first minute. 2 weeks later, they entertained Nottingham Forest and achieved their first back-to-back victories of the season. 4 days earlier, they'd seen off Norwich. Against Forest, McKenzie and Matthias Svensson were on target. However, they then went down to a 2-0 defeat at lowly Crewe. The inconsistency continued. Draws against Ipswich and Fulham followed. Then came defeat at South London rivals Charlton. Martin Pringle with the winner. They rose to the challenge against Stockport, a team 9 places above them, coming from behind to win only their 2nd away match of the season. Wayne Carlisle with the winner 10 minutes from time. Last time out, they stunted their first home defeat since October. Darren Barnard's penalty securing a valuable win for promotion-chasing Barnsley. Full start early on, bottom after 6 games, but never lower than 20th thereafter, and reasonably safe at the moment. Only Tranmere with 37 have scored more than Palace in the bottom half of the table. 43 goals conceded represents the 4th worst defensive record in the division. We heard Jimmy Quinn saying that Swindon's home form hasn't been as good as it needs to be if they're to survive. Palace pretty awful, generally away from home. Who's going to triumph tonight, Ray?
I think it's a difficult one tonight, Marcus, but I'm going to go for my old mate Steve Coppell, and I think Palace might just nick it.
That's not your heart ruling ahead, though.
It could well be, but I did that with Andy Ritchie the other week, didn't I? And it come up trumps for Andy, so I'm hoping that Steve can do something.
OK, Nigel?
I think, like Ray, it's a very difficult one to call. I think Swindon need a bit of luck, but they're not scoring enough goals, so I think I'm going to go for a draw, a score draw.
You're sitting on the fence yet again.
Keep winning the money, Marcus, off you. I like it.
That's true as well. OK, well, tonight's game is interactive. Mr. Jones will explain everything about that to you.
Can I have your attention? Good. Very shortly, you'll be able to watch a game. And I hope you enjoy it. More important, this game's available on Sky Sports Extra's interactive service. And I'm going to show you how to use this little beauty. Go to Sky Digital Channel 404. When you see that red thing, the Sky Sports Active button, you're in business. Press the red button on your remote and you'll get this menu. Use these arrows to choose where you want to go, and when you're happy, press select. If you go for highlights, you'll get constant updates of the best action. For instance, if you're late home and you've missed goal of the season, there's no need to worry. But don't be late. It's a deal. It's a steal. It's sale of the football century.
So here we go then, at the county ground, the Paupers Derby, with two men who certainly can't be described as paupers themselves, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Yes, laden down by our wallets, here we are again. But when we were last here, when Swindon were live on Sky, they were comprehensively beaten by Ipswich, but they responded in the next match with a 2-1 win at Crystal Palace. A sequence of results that Jimmy Quinn hopes will be repeated tonight as his side enter a critical phase of their troubled season. Well, there are 4 changes to the team that was beaten at Portman Road. Mark Robinson and Robin Hulbert are out of the 16. Steve Coe and Bobby Howe are on the bench. The latter's presence there meaning that Chris Hay is the only member of the starting 11 to have scored this season for Swindon. Hay is up front with on-loan Charlton striker Mark McCammon, who's back after injury. Sol Davis and Lee Collins return from suspensions. And there's a first start for 19-year-old Sam Campagna, a product of the youth system that's also been threatened by Swindon's recent financial problems.
Weighed down by wallets. You speak for yourself, Robert. 4-4-2 for Swindon. I talked to Jimmy Quinn before the game. I think really he's going to lose a couple of more players. I really do. It's about balancing the books now, trying to cut the loss. But tonight they go 4-4-2. Talia, Hall, Campagna, Reeves and Davis the back four. In front, McHugh down the right, Collins, Leach and Williams down the left-hand side. Up front, I think McCammon, it'll be interesting to see on loan, as you say, Rob, from Charlton, how he pairs up with Hay. I think Hay's a good finisher, but will Swindon create chances for the Scotsman?
Striker Matthias Svensson, prominent among the Palace players who could be sold, has swapped Swindon for Sweden. He's recuperating in his homeland after needing stitches in a knee wound that became infected. So Clinton Morrison, only just back himself after injury, comes in to replace him. Jamie Fullerton is also out injured, so Craig Foster starts for the first time in 4 games. At the back, Dean Austin returns from a ban to an experienced defence alongside Andy Linnigan and Terry Phelan, who plays his last match on loan from Everton. And in goal is the former Swindon #1, Fraser Digby.
Well, you mentioned experience, Rob, and certainly Palace have got that at the back. Digby himself, what, over 500 games for Swindon. But Smith, but look at Austin, Linnigan and Phelan. Certainly plenty of experience there at the back for Palace. In front of them, Carlisle down the right. Mullins and Foster, that's decent central midfield players. And Simon Roger, you know, busy, bright little player on the left-hand side for Palace. Up front, bit of pace and energy with Morrison and McKenzie.
Fraser Stretton is the referee who waits to bring out the two teams. I mentioned it's a critical phase for Swindon because after this match they've got games coming up against West Brom away and Grimsby at home. Teams also in the bottom half of the table, so some real 6-pointers ahead for the Swindon fans. They're 7 adrift of Walsall, who are 1 place outside the danger zone at the moment. Is it too much to make up?
Oh, it's very difficult, isn't it? You know, when you're struggling with cash like you got to get rid of players, it is. What was interesting to me was Jimmy Quinn, his interview before the game about Janaga Fjortov. I just got the impression by his tone, you don't fancy him back here.
I do wonder if they would be able to afford him with the apparent financial problems that they have, although again they were looking for maybe private investment to enable them to bring Fjortov here. But what they lack in finances, they're hoping to show tonight that they make up for in spirit. Swindon have had to fling 1 or 2 youngsters into the team this season, but again their youth system is costing them a lot, an estimated £350,000 a year. That's another area where they may have to make savings or may have to look for outside investment. Scott Leach is at the front, the captain, leading out the team. Lee Collins is there, just back in the side after injury. And Chris Hay, one of the players that they did bring in under the Steve McMahon era, and who had such a great goal-scoring start after his arrival from Celtic, but sadly since then the goals appear to have dried up. Second from the front in the picture there for Swindon, just going through now, is Sam Campagna, the youngster who will be aiming to prove a lot here tonight. Well, Crystal Palace, in the face of their financial problems, have shown great resolve and spirit to keep their heads above water in the relegation zone. But do Swindon have enough resolve to pull themselves away? They're in the most immediate danger. The whole of this game comes up live after the break.
I'm so impressed. You really showed him a thing or two.
As you know, I'm not bothered. But women love a winner.
Worthington, it's a man thing.
That Friday feeling with Cadbury's Crunchy.
Your holidays are about to change. JMC are unwrapping the package holiday piece by piece.
Time for the news and weather, and after that, we'll be talking health insurance.
Ah, great.
Actually, Neil, what you may find interesting is that Bupa is a provident association.
Sorry, what?
What that means is that every penny Bupa makes goes back into providing people with better health and care.
All right.
Nice crocodile.
Dad, come on!
To find out what Bupa can do for you, call 0800 00 1010.
The best way to stay out of trouble is to avoid it. Be tough and keep your looks. The new Citroen Saxo, from £6,995 with 1 year's free insurance. And on selected models, £500 cashback.
It was a terrible thing to do.
Totally out of control now.
It showed the real beast that he is.
Yet another controversial incident. What next? What next?
Tyson v Francis coming soon, live on Sky Box Office. Book now for the early price of $11.95. Call 0990 800 777. Cable customers, contact your local operator.
We are almost ready for kick-off at the county ground before the first division game between Swindon and Crystal Palace. There is going to be a minute's silence in memory of the Swindon club president Cecil Green, who died last week. He was associated with the club since the 1930s as a player, coach and on the board. Well done, everyone. OK, settle back, enjoy the game with Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
And in the light of Swindon's financial problems, loan signings are all that they're able to make at the moment. They currently have Mark McCammon with them on loan from Charlton, but typical of the bad luck they've been enduring of late. He got injured on his debut, suffered a swollen ankle just 2 minutes into the second half of the match against Queen's Park Rangers, and this is only his first appearance since. He'll be trying to score past a former Swindon favourite. Fraser Digby spent 12 years here at the county ground before his free transfer move to Crystal Palace, and he's lost on his only return since. It'll be Digby's Crystal Palace team who'll get the match underway. Hayden Mullins, who, like Matthias Svensson, is one of their most prized assets, will start the fixture. And in view of Palace's financial difficulties, Steve Coppell has already warned recently that they may be forced to sell a player in the not-too-distant future. And Mullins and Matthias Svensson, who's injured tonight, most prominent amongst their assets. Flag up for offside. Leon McKenzie partnered tonight by Clinton Morrison in the absence of Svensson. This is Sam Campagna making his first senior start. We're looking for Sol Davis, who's being challenged by one of the youngsters to come through the system at Palace this season, Wayne Carlisle. It's Reeves, and it's cleared by Dean Austin. This is Scott Leach. Now Campagna. This is Gareth Hall. Leach had made a useful break in the midfield, but it's a controlled header away by Linnigan to Phelan. Campagna finds Sol Davis, and this is Andy Williams. Phelan clears to Roger. Terry Phelan has made a big impression during his loan spell from Everton. After been separated by a break back at Goodison Park. This is McCammon. Did well to lift it over Linnigan's head. Phelan tries to just usher it away from him.
Well, Phelan's been around for so long. Just been enjoying this regular run in the side. But this youngster McCammon, big lad.
The statistics list him at somewhere between 6'3" and 6'5", Mark McCammon. And he adds the sort of strength that Swindon were definitely lacking before he arrived. This is Collins. Now Davis. And this is Williams. McKenzie.
Just wonder up front for Palace, they have got a little bit of pace about them. Youngsters, you know, I just wonder, could that be the difference? It's going to be a tight match.
Austin manages to pick out Terry Phelan. Looking for McKenzie. This is McCannon. Davis, Alan Reeves. Dean Austin up against Chris Hay. Austin missed the last match, his first absence of the season, and that was down to suspension. Cleared by Simon Roger, who gave away a penalty in that match against Barnsley.
I think Jim Quinn, all he can do now is side, you know, he's had to get rid of so many players, staff. I think it's a case of, come on, let's go out and enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you'll play well, pass the ball. And with a little bit of luck, instead of hitting the woodwork, who knows, we could just go on a little run now.
Well, they've had so many problems to contend with those 15 redundancies amongst the backroom staff that it must almost be a relief for the managers and the players to be playing and watching football matches. Of course, Quinn's difficulties have been such this season that he's actually had to bring himself back into playing action, but he's currently out of contention because of a calf injury. Frank Talia, who is Fraser Digby's successor in the Swindon goal, with the free kick. Roger. Now Campagna. Leach to Hall. Which is looking in reasonable condition, bearing in mind some of the surfaces we've seen of late, and it is a pretty chilly, cold night here, with temperatures expected to dip to -4 at some stage this evening.
Yeah, it's a real cold night. I think it's a lovely part of the world here. Maybe not a hotbed for football, maybe national hunt horse racing, but beautiful part of the country. And the pitch, you say, Rob, is excellent.
Well, they had their taste of Premiership football with that one troubled season there. And their difficulties have grown since, when they tried to make a swift return. And the gamble hasn't paid off, and now they face a real grim fight for survival in the First Division. But a win here tonight would give them a huge boost.
I think the nice thing about it is the three in front of them, Rob. You know, Swindon holding up the table, but the three in front of them, you know, there's not a massive gap, is there? You know, the fourth from bottom, it's not a case of like 14, 15 points clear. It's still, they get a little run of 3 games, 2 wins and a draw. Suddenly the gap, you know, there's a lot of hope suddenly. The gap narrows. Teams above them hit a little, you know, sticky patch. Who knows? But they won't if too many players have, you know, their jaws are dropped, feeling sorry for themselves. It's got to be a happy camp.
Given away to Foster. There's Mullins. Given away by him to Collins. This is Leach. A risky ball back across the face of his own area, but Hall retrieves it. Hey. This is Fraser McHugh. Deep ball looking for Andy Williams.
It's a shame, Williams, it was a hard ball to deal with. It's a shame he couldn't hook that back. 3 players in the box. Deep cross, good hold up from Hay. He looks tidy. Just hook that back. You see Hay, he's almost given up on it. 2 other players were just coming into the box.
Andy Williams is a Welsh international. He was signed from Southampton earlier this season, one that they did actually pay money for. But it's been more a case of selling and releasing players rather than buying them for Swindon this year. The likes of Craig Taylor and Ty Gooden, Mark Walters, George and Dar, Ife Anora, and now this week Jimmy Glass have all made exits from the club. Some of those earlier names I mentioned are the reason why Chris Hay is the only one in the starting lineup tonight to have scored any goals for Swindon this season.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, incredible start.
Here is Hay, who's got 5. And now Wayne Carlisle. Smith has helped it on towards Carlisle. Good interception from Scott Leach, player who's been linked with a move away from Swindon as well. Portsmouth were rumoured to be interested in him. Cleared by Davis. Foster's ball finding Mackenzie. And here's Collins. This is Fraser McHugh. Just beyond the reach of Alan Reeves. Davis looks for Campagna.
I don't think the ball was too bad there, Rob. I just don't think Reeves expected it. He gave him a right glare. Don't be giving him the ball in those positions, you say.
Ball now given to the goalkeeper by the captain, Leach. Swindon's victory at Crystal Palace back in August, the only one that they've achieved on their travels this year. It was Palace who actually took the lead in that match. Rio Mackenzie's strike partner tonight, Clinton Morrison, was the man who gave them the lead. Grazioli and Anora were the men who replied for Swindon. And that's another difficulty for Swindon at the moment, being without Grazioli, who has had to have a pin inserted in a broken foot. And he's not expected to return to the first team until March. Here's Andy Linnigan. Steve Coppell knows all about the difficulties of managing on a shoestring. His club has been in administration since last March, and he's had to try and motivate players who've been more concerned about where their next salary is coming from. Still, a lot of the debt at the club is owed towards Coppell's players. They've shown a great spirit to reach the position that they have in the table.
Steve's got nice, he's got a mix, hasn't he? You got wealth of experience, a good pro and Linnigan at the back, and then you get the youngsters up front. In midfield, Mullins, a good young player, and they've kept him going. They've kept his chin up, because it must have been hard for Steve.
Well, they actually had an embargo on signing players, either on a permanent basis or on a loan deal earlier in the season. But the day after that embargo was lifted, he picked up Terry Phelan, and Phelan has provided great service since then.
And Phelan, 32-year-old, he just wants regular football at that age.
His contract's up at Everton at the end of the year, so he certainly went to Palace with a point to prove. Foster challenging with Hall, whose header away gives Palace the throw-in. Swindon actually have a good record against Palace of late. They've won their last 3 meetings. They completed a league double against them last term, winning 2-0 here in November thanks to goals from George Ndar and Mark Walters, and 1-0 at Selhurst Park back in April. Fianora was the scorer then. Collision with the assistant referee, who seems none the worse for that unintended skirmish. This is Foster. Lined up for Roger, who gets it back through towards Morrison, but it's Collins who's got it clear in the end.
That could have been dangerous, Rob. Good block from Alan Reeves.
It's been a fairly tentative opening, no real chances for either side.
Yeah, a little bit untidy.
Expect a little bit of edginess though, with the sort of plight that these two teams are facing, and although Crystal Palace started this match just below mid-table, there's no way they can afford to feel too confident about their own security. Here's McCammon. He's brought it under control well, just dwelt on it for too long, and that allowed Linnigan to make the tackle. Austin though was risking it with Andy Williams coming in. And now it's given away by Linnigan to Collins. A little bit untidy this from Crystal Palace. But can Swindon press forward? McHugh, well, he looked back there to try and deliver the ball to Hall, and he was caught late by Simon Roger.
I don't think Roger's a nasty, dirty player. He's fully committed for that. And you see he's late. Of course he is. His momentum's taken him through, but not high. Not high enough, I don't think, for the referee to produce.
It's a stern warning for Simon Roger, who's making the 200th league appearance of his Crystal Palace career tonight. Hall's free kick. Carlisle brings it clear. Williams. This is Foster. Austin back to Craig Foster. And now Smith. Complete miscue from Dean Austin, which leaves him a little embarrassed. Can Jimmy Quinn's team press home the advantage from the throw-in?
Swindon are all about closing, you know, getting stuck in, working for each other. I just think Palace has that little bit edge in the class, you know, factor.
Steve Coppell has somehow managed to keep a decent squad together through their traumas. It's a squad that has been trimmed down significantly. And McCammon here looking to race onto it, but it's covered by Fraser Digby.
Well, Kirbish's got a few problems up front, I think, for Charlton. I just wonder, you know, McCammon, he'll be looking to do well in this loan spell to prove that he's worth a place. Should, you know, Alan have problems with his first team. Looks a big raw lad, McCammon, doesn't he? He's big, tall, strong. Just wonder if he needs a little bit more, well, mobility, a little bit of balance, perhaps. He's certainly strong and big enough.
Has actually played for Charlton this season, but his opportunities have been limited to 4 games. Only one of them a start. It's against Tranmere. Leach, now McHugh. Hall moving up on the outside of him. And it's off Simon Roger for the throw.
I think Roger was using his brain there, but he dived in on Hall and caught him late. Just after being spoken to the ref, could have been in trouble.
Chris Hay managing to get away from Phelan, but Linnigan cuts out the cross.
I think Linnigan's going to have to just keep an eye on Hay, because Hay, when the ball to feet, does move it quickly. Good balance, good touch.
Picked across by Hay, McCammon closing in on it. Headed clear by Austin, who had to be strong there against the big striker.
Yeah, definitely, Rob. Good header from Austin.
Smith. Carlisle. Turned away by Davis.
Nice development in a decent battle, Carlisle and Davis. Carlisle's very direct, isn't he? He's got a turn of pace, just looking to get it past into space and deliver the ball with his right foot.
Steve Coppell said that if he was going to fail in his current management role, he'd rather do so with youngsters trying their hearts out than with professionals who weren't really interested. And Carlisle is one to whom he's given a decent run in the team. He's actually enjoying his best run in the side at the moment, this being his 5th consecutive start, the Northern Ireland Youth International.
Who better to teach him how to play right-hand side than New England Steve Coppell?
Mullins, another youngster who's really flourished. Andy Linnigan, always a threat from corners and free kicks. Delivered instead towards Simon Roger. Swindon had enough back there. It was Campagna who cleared.
That was an excellent free kick. Good disguise. You wouldn't really expect to see little Roger coming round the back.
Now Morrison controls and turns brilliantly. And well saved.
I just wonder here, was it a tug on Clinton Morrison's shirt? This is good play from the strikers. Watch this touch, but have a look, is there a tug here on the shirt? Just, that's a great turn on his left foot. And a good save.
Well, he dragged himself away from Campagna magnificently, did Clinton Morrison. Just couldn't deliver with the final shot. Here's Wayne Carlisle. Morrison. Header away by McHugh.
The Palace are sharper on the passing now in the last few minutes. Good save from Talia. Look at the tugging going on. Campagna just losing him, but it's a lovely turn. And the left foot finish. Good save.
Again, up comes Linnigan straight into the 6-yard box. And right to block Frank Talia's view. Well, it was stepped over by Linnigan.
Tell you what, it was almost an OG from Hall there. Very relieved to see it go in his keeper's hands. Well, Talia, certainly the busier of the keepers, and this is dangerous. Hall backtracking here. Almost knocks it in his own net.
Foster. Here comes Davis.
Allow just catching him.
Williams was the player that he caught.
Steve Coppell was talking about maybe missed chances, a little bit of luck needed. And that was a good chance early on. Morrison could have hit it better, but let's give the benefit to goalkeeper Frank Talia. Good stop.
Headed back out by McCammon. Williams looking to make room for himself, goes down in the area. Leach.
Well, Williams certainly goes flying here, but does he play for it? Is Carlisle getting back there, and Smith comes across him. Got to be a little bit careful there, Jamie Smith.
Reeves. And again, Reeves, it's a miscue, but Hall gets it forward anyway. Phelan. Flick on by Morrison. And Reeves is there before Simon Roger. Collins. Mullins. This is Smith. Mullins. Now Williams.
Jimmy Smith earlier getting away. Maybe catching a player. Williams is he's lively, isn't he? Smith just falling into him, arm round him. Yeah, bright start to the match from Williams.
Versatile player, can play either side, Andy Williams. Movement has been quite smooth so far, and there's caused Palace one or two difficulties. Ball's kick, Reeves! Goal! The simplest of headers for Alan Reeves, and Swindon take a vital lead.
It's an excellent finish, but it's a clear header, and no doubt I think it's Mullins and the striker don't pick up the run. Plenty of experience with Alan Reeves, and you see two Palace players toiling there. McKenzie, Mullins, let him get the first run. Good delivery, and that's a nice finish. Alan McDonald jumps in the air.
It's only the third goal that Alan Reeves has scored in the league for Swindon. The other two against Tranmere last March.
That's a lovely header, Rob. Hall with the delivery, but look at the two. Mullins. He gets first run, gets a good jump, and that's a fine finish.
Palace didn't deal with Alan Reeves, and he makes them pay with his first goal of the season.
Just a little bit of experience there. Mackenzie, Mullins, youngsters, just getting caught flat-footed.
Adding insult to injury for Crystal Palace. The goal comes from a player who spent 4 years at Selhurst Park with Palace's tenants, Wimbledon, before his move to the county ground.
Yeah, it was all, you know, it was all good lead-up, wasn't it, from Andy Williams? Got the free kick. That's a soft goal to get away.
Here's Hay. Linnigan. Now Hall. Collins. Came here on a free transfer after his spell with Wimbledon, did Alan Reeves.
Never slow to put his head in, is he?
This is Foster. Alan Roger given away to Hall. Thieler. Foster, that was a late challenge from Collins. The referee might want to take further action when the ball stops. This is Morrison. Trying to wriggle away from Campagna.
He's unlucky there, Morrison. He's done well to keep the ball in. And then wriggled, good turn, good, half-decent cross.
Cameron coming up against Dean Austin. The referee, having noticed the challenge from Lee Collins, has clearly decided to just leave it. Well, Palace are very erratic. They're only 2 victories on their travels this season have come against teams in the top 6 of the table. They won at Barnsley and became the first team to win at Stockport this season. Steve Coppell hoping that there'll be a revival after the concession of that goal to Alan Reeves. I'm sure there'll be some questioning going on about how Reeves managed to free himself.
Oh, you know, you work so hard on the training ground, Rob, you know, on set pieces for and against. You can't afford to let, you know, their best header of the ball get a free header. That's bad.
Now McCammon. Mackenzie. This is Mullins. Massive weekend of Premiership football to come. It's Sunderland against Leeds, live on Sunday at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. And our Monday night football, a titanic clash at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Arsenal. Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra, Monday at 7 o'clock.
Wow, what a game that'll be.
Clear your diary for the remainder of the weekend.
Well, Stevie looked, you know, fairly happy early on, but then came down from the director's box. I'm sure he's still thinking, silly free kick to give away and a free header.
It's a great start for Swindon and Jimmy Quinn, whose team have won just 3 times in 25 matches in all competitions here during the whole of 1999, and they've won just twice in the league here this season.
And yeah, away on the travels, managed a draw at Wolverhampton and at Birmingham.
Williams, now Davis.
It's all about building on it now, you know. Palace are feeling a little bit sorry for themselves and building it, go for second goal. I think down the left have been good with Davis and Williams.
This is Hall. Collins. Well, it was dipping.
Just for a minute there, I thought maybe Fraser Digby might be struggling, because he hits it early again. Hall involved, good ball, first time layoff, sort of looping, but Digby just a yard out in the end, no problem.
Again, it's Andy Williams making inroads, and again he's won a free kick.
Yeah, Williams is direct, isn't he? He's getting the ball, taking a touch and going for it. Mullins, the culprit, catching him out, but the ball eventually falls to Hay in a good position. The referee Stratton saying free kick.
This free kick floats over the head of Alan Reeves. The previous one that he'd won was netted by Reeves with a header. And that goal, the difference between the two teams approaching the half-hour mark.
I think Palace have got to try and get the midfield working a little bit better, getting the ball down the side or in behind Swindon centre-backs. It's good play again from Davis, because there's no doubt in my mind Carlisle's fast on the right, but so is Davis. Nice little battle between the two. You see midfield again, heavy in there. Palace pushing forward early on, I think, the 19%. That's from early in this first half. Down Swindon's left, lively.
Campagna tussling away with Morrison, and the Palace man has the edge and equalises.
That's the ball Rob was talking about. In behind the two centre-backs, because these two centre-forwards have pace and strength, and no doubt here, look at the tussle. Morrison sticking to his task well, doesn't panic on his right foot. That's a quality goal for me. Campagna battling, trying his hardest, just the strength, good touch, back outside on his right foot, and doesn't panic on the right foot finish. Smashing goal from Morrison after a good tussle. 3 players around him, still finds a net, 1-1.
19-year-old Campagna finding himself outbattled by Clinton Morrison, who scores against Swindon for the second time this season. And here's Williams, and he's won a corner. Morrison only just back in the team after dislocating a shoulder, and what a return.
Campagna, his first full start, it's going to be hard for him. Now can they pick up Reeves this time?
And surely they won't be as lax a second time as they were for the free kick, which Reeves converted. Corner this time, not as good a delivery. Winning the throw.
It's a good centre-forwards goal, Rob, you know. You look at them all getting back there, Hall's back there, Reeves is there, Campagna, wrong-footed, kicks his head, side-foots it, past the goalkeeper in the far corner.
Picture changes for Jimmy Quinn, so delighted after Alan Reeves' goal. But Steve Coppell's team now back in it.
When you get that pace and strength up there, you've got to use it, Rob, you know. I'm not saying just hoof it long, but you get the balls down the side of the centre-backs, or, you know, just clipping it over the heads.
It's laid on again here towards Morrison, and Campagna hits it against him. Been given a rigorous workout on his first full appearance, Sam Campagna, by Clinton Morrison, who's been likened in some quarters to Ian Wright. Of course, they would at Crystal Palace. They're always harking back to the days of the bright Wright era.
There you go before that as well. Terry Venable's team of the 80s. Vince Hilaire and co. It's a little battle again between these two. Well, a couple of greyhounds having a go at each other.
Davis. Challengers by Leach. This is Williams. Good blast from him.
I tell you what, on a cold night down here in Swindon, he's got one or two warmed up. Again, it's positive on his right foot, really lets fly. And if that's on target, that could have been trouble for Palace. Just a little bobble just as he struck it.
Well, his movement has been smooth as the voice of his singing namesake, Andy Williams.
Rob, 33 minutes it's taken you to come out with one of them.
And back from Hall.
It's good play from Hall, you know, he doesn't panic there. He could easily have flown in the back of his own net.
Hall with a header. Phelan. This is Austin. Smith.
I haven't really seen Jamie Smith get forward much, not trouble Jimmy Quinn's side. A little bit of tussling going on again. Campagna this time getting the result against Morrison. You see he's so close to him. Look at the shirt tugging again, really is. Campagna try to get too tight. Perhaps with the equalising goal, too tight.
Sam Campagna made his debut at Bradford some 14 months ago, and he's come on as a substitute in 2 of the last 3 matches. And Jimmy Quinn has liked what he's seen of him this season, enough to entrust him from the start. He reshaped his defence for the last game against Ipswich, playing Bobby Howe's a sweeper, and it didn't really work out. Leach! McCammon! Oh!
Couldn't sort his feet out after great play between the two Scots. Hey, good, this is quality, you know, it doesn't panic. What a lovely little slip that is. Leach fires it across. Well, he's a little bit unlucky, the big fella. It comes to him so quick in his left foot and can't tuck it away. Good chance.
Williams. Well, that was a high challenge from Jamie Smith.
Well, Smith, you know, for me, he's been the niggly player. That's why the yellow's coming, I think. Early on, he's finding it hard to cope with this guy's directness, and that has to be yellow. That's rash.
Booking and a warning for Jamie Smith. He's had a long spell on the sidelines himself this season. He was out for 6 weeks in plaster with an Achilles injury. There's Campagna. Mullet.
Jimmy Smith just getting a little talking to from the bench there. I think I said, hey, just go easy now. You've got your yellow. Just time your tackles a little bit better.
One of a number of players loaned out by Palace last season. In fact, almost joined Fulham, but for the change in management. Kevin Keegan, it seemed, was poised to sign him. First really established his reputation with Wolves. Davis with the throw. Collins. Sorting it out.
I tell you, they're just having a little problem with Williams' pace, aren't they?
Reeves towards McCammon. Williams again. Davis delivers. Just beyond McCammon, it's Linegan who clears. This is Leach. Hall. And Collins.
Collins is unlucky there. He's just drifting around, just looking for knockdowns. Hall goes to the 1-2, but Collins says, no, I'll try. Maybe better to go with Hall.
Mullins.
A little elbow up there from Leach. Leach doesn't like it.
Being watched closely by Reeves, but Morrison and Campagna have had 1 or 2 interesting tussles already. That could be the focal point.
So you can see Reeves just saying, hey, 10's yours.
It's McCammon who gets it away. This is Leach. Now Collins. From Simon Roger. Mullins. Smith. Collins is broken with it. McCammon makes a run through the middle. This is McHugh. 4 waiting in the box. Header away was by Linegan. Collins. And McCammon is onside.
Linesman had a good view of it. Again, he's a big lad, just can't get his feet and his legs going quick enough. A little bit unlucky here, it's just too much in front of him. Out comes the keeper.
Phelan. This is Roger. Foster. Williams in the way of it. This is Smith. Played in the end by Hall. Dean Austin. Williams was trying to get across. It was Smith who headed it on. This is Davis. Now Williams to try and cause more problems for Jamie Smith, who's on a yellow card. He gets his cross in towards Hay. And as Digby spilled it, he recovered in time.
Wow, I think Hay's got to be saying, I should have been on the end of this because this is a beautiful ball. Again, Williams causing the problems, and there's nothing wrong with that, right along the 6-yard line.
And McCammon this time is flagged offside.
McCammon's just looking, he's dangerous, looking to get in there, and you can see, is that offside? I don't think so, not when the ball's played. It's very, very tight with the linesman, and a real good picking again, right in line the linesman. Oh, so tight.
Campagna. Leach.
Looks, this youngster at the back looks an out-and-out marker to me. He's getting so tight. to the two forward players. This time Mackenzie contesting every ball.
Here's Williams. Now Hay.
So they're not scared to have a strike from goal, are they? Again, Williams, good play. Little tuck, Hay, one touch, drives one straight at Digby.
Collins. In comes Davis, cleared by Smith. This is Carlisle. Good work from Wayne Carlisle. Good work coming in from the right-hand side. So a little bit off balance. I think maybe he could have tried to play one of his strikers, maybe a 1-2, just off balance with his left foot. Linnigan. This is Foster. Phelan. Followed by Campagna. Stealing a march on Morrison. Foster. It's Reeves. In from Phelan.
McHugh doesn't like it, but Foster for me was always up before him. So getting the early jump, Foster. This is dangerous, leading up to half-time.
Talia's immediate concern will be with Foster or Roger, who are over the ball, but Linnigan has gone forward. Played to Mullins.
Foster just given him a little bit too much to do here. He has to run across to his right, driving at his right foot, just dragging it.
Just a minute stoppage time to be added in the first half. Not even that as the referee blows for half-time. Swindon having taken the lead through Alan Reeves. There'll be questions in the Palace defence about how he managed to free himself to head in a free kick. But Palace showing their usual grit and determination, and Clinton Morrison getting the equaliser. It was the good work of Andy Williams that led to the award of the free kick, and Reeves managing to free himself of any markers to deliver the header for his first goal of the season. But Sam Campagna on his first start has been given a real thorough examination by Clinton Morrison. It was the Palace striker who got the edge there and got the goal that has brought Palace back into this contest. It's level at half-time at the County Ground. Swindon 1, Crystal Palace 1.
They're back. They're in form. And we await. The two giants of the game are about to clash again. United, Arsenal, a game of awesome intensity, a game of undiluted rivalry, a game neither is prepared to lose. The race is on. Man United v Arsenal, part of a massive weekend of football, this weekend on Sky Sports and Sky Sports Extra.
I'm so impressed. You really showed him a thing or two.
As you know, I'm not bothered. But women love a winner.
Worthington, it's a man thing.
At 10 o'clock at night, Mike Turner of the Halifax helped Perry the projectionist pay off his credit card bill so he could get on with his job, which helped Leonard of Leonard's Limo Hire, which helped Laura Crockett's big day go with a bang, which helped Mr. Tompkins, the photographer, which helped Rodney, the male model, which helped Carlo the barber, which helped Mr. Gilbert, the wig maker, which helped Del the stuntman look the part.
Take 3, A camera.
Which not only helped add a bit of drama to the exploding casino sequence, but also helped Charles Dance retain his good looks, which helped pull in the crowds at the cinema and helped remind Perry to ring up the Halifax and pay his gas bill with a little help from the Halifax.
Here we are, sir.
What is this, please? This isn't what I asked for. I wanted a gorgeous spicy curry flavour pot noodle snack. I'm sure these lovely ladies are very skillful.
You're stupid!
But they're not fragrant, mouth-tingling spicy curry flavour. Would you take these ladies back and get me one? Thank you so much. You've been very helpful. Pot noodle. Anything else is your dad's saggy pants.
He prowls the streets. He works the underground.
3 murders, same mark.
He collects human bones. The Bone Collector.
If you like McDonald's.
You'll love the McDonald's January sale.
So let's see what's in store.
Here's our price promise. Give us 49p and we'll give you a hamburger.
Give us 59p and we'll give you a cheeseburger. And that's a promise.
Please allow at least 28 seconds for delivery.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ted Rogers.
So there you have it.
The McDonald's January sale. At Croydon, Sidcup, New Malden, Wimbledon, Milton.
Nowadays, with a mobile phone, you're instantly available and everyone wants an instant answer, so... Excuse me. He loves acting. Who knows what's to come, but I wouldn't count an Oscar out. The mobiles go 24 hours a day, and really, they're our main means of communication.
Welcome to your world, from 1 to 1.
Such a waste. So many of you all over the country are doing this year after year. If you pay your home insurance along with your mortgage, you could be chucking your money away until you do this. Switching your home insurance from your mortgage provider to Direct Line could save you up to 30%. So stop wasting your money and call Direct Line on 0181 686 8877.
With oranges and clementines from Spain, you'll feel brand new every day.
Live Rugby Union coming up for you tomorrow on Sky Sports 2 from 1:30. Action from the Allied Dunbar Premiership as Gloucester take on Bristol. And we then switch codes to Rugby League live on Sky Sports 1 from 6. St Helens against Melbourne in the World Club Challenge. So Rugby Union and Rugby League tomorrow right here on Sky Sports. Right now it's First Division football. Friday night action from the county ground at half-time. Swindon 1, Crystal Palace 1, 10 attempts at goal, 5 on target. Pretty even so far. The one booking, Jamie Smith of Crystal Palace. Nothing to show as far as the action areas are concerned. Palace with a fraction more in terms of possession. As always, Ray and Nigel are with me. We expected a bit of a struggle tonight, but both sides have given their all, and, as we also expected, absolutely no shortage in terms of commitment.
No, commitment's been first class, Marcus, but they're, as we expected, not the greatest amount of football being played, because both sides are obviously very nervous. They need the points desperately, and I don't think you ever get classic football matches when those sort of terms are put in front of you. But the commitment's been outstanding, and both sets of guys can be very pleased with the way they've worked in the first half.
And the Palace front two have really caught the eye, haven't they, Nigel?
Well, Murray and I were just talking during the first half. They said their movement and their communication to each other, you know, even at set plays, they're saying, well, you go around the back, I'll go around the front, and they look very sharp, and that's how they got their goal.
Well, they might have got a goal after 17 minutes. It's McKenzie who does all the hassling and harrying by the corner flag, and then Morrison shows a lovely touch in front of goal, doesn't he, Ray?
He certainly does. He's a very strong lad, he's Clinton, and Campagna is getting just a little bit too tight to him. Here's Leon, he does ever so well, chasing a lost cause, slings it in, and Campagna is very, very tight, so Leon knows exactly where he is all the time. Turns in very well, just doesn't get the shot off strong enough to beat Frank Talia in goal.
Older Campagna can't help but touch at shirts.
No, when you're playing against pace markers, it's very difficult to know how to play them. It's the young man's first appearance as well, full appearance, I think. So it's going to be a difficult night for him because Clinton is a very good mover off the ball.
And one player who's shone in the Swindon side, Andy Williams, who's head up and down the line.
He's a young lad who's got a bright future if he keeps playing like this, and he actually got the free kick that led to their goal, giving them problems, especially Smith down that right-hand side.
There is the goal. Smart header, but from a Palace defensive point of view, Steve Coppell will have 1 or 2 questions, won't he?
Yeah, you've got to pick up the big men there, and Reeves is left on his own just to flick that in. He just gets a glancing header, gets away from his marker, glances it, keeper no chance, goes in the bottom corner.
And that's exactly what Swindon wanted. We heard from Jimmy Quinn before the game. He said that their home form has been disappointing. They've drawn too many games. They had their noses in front. Yet again, same old story. Palace getting the equaliser. And again, great strength from Morrison, despite the shirt pulling from Signora. Is it Signora in Italian? Campagna? I'm getting my mess.
Let's just say that Clinton does exceptionally well, Marcus. He's very, very strong. And I think when we see it in the replay, and when we go a little lower down, you'll see that as he flicks it back inside to make the opening for the shot, he just gets his head up to have a look where Frank Talia is. His head just comes up off the floor and he pushes it into the far corner. Here we see it. As he's about to go past Campagna now, his head just comes up, he has a little look and just rolls it into the far side.
It is a vital game for both sides. Both managers have said that. At this stage, who do you now see going on to win the game, Nigel?
Well, I think it's very even. As the stats show, Marcus, in the first half, I think they're two sides who are desperate to get a win. Swindon get in front, think, oh, great. And then, obviously, Palace say, we've got to chase this, and they get back into the game. That's why it's even at half-time. I think it'd be even at the end of the game.
Swindon might have gone back in front. It was a very difficult opportunity for the big striker up front, Mark McCamney. He doesn't really have time to adjust to that, does he?
He can't adjust. He actually does well to actually get the ball. But there was no chance for him adjusting and being able to place it, Mark, because he just got his body in front of it and hoped that it would go in the net. Unfortunately for Mark, it didn't.
So at half-time, all square in the Paupers derby, as we're calling it, the Robins and the Eagles. It's a bird derby as well, in many ways. We're back in a couple of minutes.
Harry?
Yes? You've been using the internet at peak rate.
And you've run up this enormous phone bill.
And this will have to go towards paying for it.
And this.
And this.
And this.
No. No.
Harry?
I dreamt I ran up this huge peak rate phone bill.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Look.
Now, with AOL, it's off-peak all the time, so it's never more than a penny a minute, whatever the time.
So it's cheap rate now?
Well,
Yes, and it'll still be cheap rate in the morning.
Night, Connie.
Night.
It's all part of the service at AOL.
Green King IPA. What's it all about then? Well, it's about philosophy. It's about classical music. It's about opera. But most of all, with 200 years of brewing tradition in every single pint, it's about time.
There's a voice keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Only NatWest credit cards give you air miles every time you spend. So if you want to see the world for free, call us on 0800 400 005.
Have I told you about my tasty extras? You can get 3 of my spicy hot wings for an extra tasty 99p. No one does chicken like KFC.
20 kilos lakrado.
Yeah, take it easy.
It surprised them, so it might surprise you. But in the last 3 years, the Royal Navy helped seize illegal drugs with a street value of over £120 million. Royal Navy, the team works. 0345 300 123. Kick-off doesn't start at 3 o'clock. It starts as soon as you wake up. You get focused, get nervous, get prepared. Because you're part of the team. And kick-off, free in the sun, is part of the game plan. Whatever you need to know, it'll be there. Every Saturday, just like you. Kick-off. You don't want to miss it.
Friday feeling with Cadbury's Crunchy.
Safe, responsive and in control. The new Rover 45. Extraordinary drive.
She's on holiday. She go crazy.
When you have the king and queen of innuendo and 32 contestants from Britain who are game for anything, then brace yourself for the most outrageous beach battle. It's Prickly Heat. Whether they're lining their pants or lining their stomachs, they just don't care.
I need cocktails.
They're here for non-stop fun and maybe more.
Well, that's enough filth and titillation for 1 week.
Brand new Prickly Heat, Sundays at 9, Sky 1.
A couple of Premiership games that might just catch your attention over the next few days. Sunderland against Leeds, 3 o'clock Sunday. That's on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. And then on Monday night, it's the small matter of Manchester United and Arsenal at Old Trafford from 7 o'clock. And that programme includes the FIFA World Player of the Year Awards as well. 2 matches not to be missed, Sunday and Monday. Half-time at the County Ground in our First Division football. It is Swindon 1, Palace 1. Crucial game for both sides. Let's rejoin our match commentators, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
And after Swindon had taken the lead through Alan Reeves, it was Clinton Morrison, the 20-year-old, scoring his 7th of the season, who got the equaliser. It's his first appearance in the starting lineup since the 25th of September against Wolves. He's been out since then with a shoulder injury, but a triumphant return to the team for him so far. He's just edged ahead in that battle with 19-year-old Sam Pampagna, the Swindon defender. No changes to either team at half-time. This is the 10th consecutive meeting of these two teams in this division. But will they be in this division again next year? Certainly Swindon's position is looking the more precarious, and they know that at this stage of the campaign, draws aren't really good enough for them.
I think from a Palace point of view as well, Rob, teams below you daren't lose to at this stage in the season. Keep them down now.
Clearly the home games are going to be pretty important for Jimmy Quinn's team. Free kick from Phelan is in there towards Linnigan, who was just applying too much pressure to Mark McCammon.
Right to the far post, it's the arm round him, the referee. We've seen maybe a little bit worse getting away with it, but the referee's done a good job. Wasn't meant to ref tonight, Rob.
That's right, Fraser Stretton, the replacement referee. McCammon. Smith with a throw. Cleared by Leach. It's come off Reeves for the corner.
I was wondering if he was going to give a corner or a free kick. I think it hit Reeves in the arm.
Yet again, Linnigan goes in there.
Oh, his hand was up there. Something struck the ball.
Well, McHugh's arm seemed to be raised, and Reeves did too.
Well, Reeves, after the ball went, put his hand up. We're just wondering if he's indicating it was a Palace hand. You see, look at the hands up there, and that's exactly what he was saying there, Rob. The body's in there. I think we have to say it was Mackenzie's arm.
And Reeves, the man who drew the referee's attention to that. Swindon have now gone 12 league matches without winning. Victory tonight won't be enough to lift them off the bottom of the table this evening, but it will set them up nicely for those crucial games against West Brom and Grimsby.
I think also, Rob, if they get a home win, if they can somehow salvage a home win tonight, it gives the fans a little bit of encouragement as well. And if they just put a little run at home together, who knows, maybe they're not down and out just yet.
This is Chris Hay. Interception by Smith, and then off Hay for the throw to Palace. This is Hall. Now McHugh. Morrison left it to Mackenzie and then allowed Reeves to come in, and has managed to find Williams. Being the danger man as far as Palace are concerned. He's taking on Smith again. Collins. Now Hall. McHugh. Collins being warned about the arrival of Mackenzie, finds McCammon. This is Davis. Forward from Reeves. Austin making the header clear. Leach. Hall. McCammon trying to guide it back to Leach. It was intercepted by Foster. This is Smith. Mackenzie tussling away with Reeves.
Yeah, Mackenzie has got a good understanding with Morrison. I think the guys at half-time are spot on. They do try and play as a pair. When one has the ball, he looks for his fellow striker first.
Austin. Reeves can watch that one to safety. The Wolves manager and his assistant John Ward in the audience tonight. Colin Lee just checking up on future opponents. They're due to play Crystal Palace at the start of next month. Coppell hoping that his team can convert this into their third victory on their travels this season. They were a goal down at Stockport and they came back to win that one 2-1. Phelan. Now Hall. Leach. This is Smith. Reeves. Williams. Crosses from Davis towards McCammon, chested down for Collins, but well read by Mullins. Roger brings it clear and finds Morrison, the Palace goal scorer. Roger trying to help it through to Mackenzie, nice idea, but Reeves frustrated it. Playing it against Morrison for the throw to Swindon. Well, Palace have looked at a variety of schemes to keep them in business, and they've actually had shirt sponsorship on a match-by-match basis this season, and tonight's shirt sponsors, would you believe, are Steve Coppell's hairdressers. Ball played through here to Hay, and the shot going right across the face of Palace's goal.
A half chance for Chris Hay. Getting away from Linnigan. Smith tucking round, but he's got the legs on Linnigan. Can he finish? Dragging it with his right foot. Not making the goalkeeper work. Linnigan toiling to get back. Can't afford to clip the heels. That's a poor finish from Hay.
Chris Hay with 5 goals in 22 games, the club's top scorer so far this season. Though Alan Reeves has broken his duck for the campaign to join him in the scoring charts tonight.
The crowd trying desperately to try and raise the home side as the temperature drops.
Here's Leach with a free kick. It back from Hayes, looking for McHugh.
Well, it's difficult when you're a manager with no money and having to get rid of players. You have to make do, keep the morale, team spirit up. And how they need 3 points tonight.
Williams. Smith with the throw. Smith's ball, a testing one for the goalkeeper, and Talia seemed to have kept it out, but it's been poked home.
Looks like Foster's got it. Was this a free kick though? It's a lovely leap. Foster celebrates with his teammates. Smith balloons it in the air. Talia underneath it. Well, comes off the crossbar. Can't be cleared. Hall's back there, but Foster with a toe poke. And I think it's Mackenzie with a leap. Off the crossbar. And that's a blow to Swindon. Referee right on the spot. Any arms up here? It's just a good leap. Talia doesn't go off the ground, and Foster with a final vital touch.
Well, Swindon are furious, but Foster immediately wheeled away to take the credit for the goal, his first of the campaign. Swindon now needing to summon all of their courage for a fight back here. They're behind for the first time in this contest.
Rob, I think the ref's done well again here, you know. Talia doesn't really get off the ground. Mackenzie's leap really was an early jump. The referee's threatening, saying, no, goal stands. Good follow-up as well from Foster.
problems this season with some erratic goalkeeping of Swindon. Jimmy Glass, who left the club this week, cost him some points against Bolton. Talia had his horror moment in the Manchester City match with a goal from Robert Taylor he conceded.
I'm sure he's going to scream at this, you know, but look, he doesn't get off the ground. Mackenzie gets up first, there's no elbows, there's no arms flailing, and Foster just with a vital touch.
Smith.
Well, interesting, Rob. Some refs would easily have protected the keeper, said free kick. But I think it was a good early jump, a good spring from...
And Mullins has gone down, and it's a penalty. And Swindon showed more fury at the referee's decision, but he was adamant. He pointed straight to the spot after Leach had given it away.
Well, Leach is furious. You see, is that a free kick? That's what Leach was maybe complaining about. But the referee's 10 yards away. And this is a double blow for Swindon. You see Mullins gets in the box, has contact. I think Leach is screaming there was a free kick beforehand.
Well, Frank Talia has just tried stalling tactics, coming out to check the position of the ball. Palace missed a penalty in their last match. That was Svensson. This is Mullins, and he makes no mistake.
Wow, how cool is this? How cool is this? I think the pressure was made easier as a 2-1 up, but that's just a simple tuck into the far corner. Talia goes the wrong way and just plants it inside the post. A mounted decline for Swindon.
Suddenly, it's all gone horribly wrong for Swindon. Steve Coppell is the man who could afford to have a smile on his face, although he's perhaps reserving that for later. But two controversial decisions from Fraser Stretton. I'm sure Swindon will look upon it as the sort of bad luck and fortune that they've been enduring of late. Leach now swerves this one in. And Swindon need a quick strike now if they're to make anything of this game. I'm sure they will feel there was a foul on Talia for the second goal, the one that was turned in by Foster. And was this a penalty?
Is this a free kick there? Mullins in the back of Leach. But you see, I think it's probably just outside the box, to be honest, where he clips his arm. It's so tight, but I think Leach, when he makes contact with his left foot, it's just outside the box.
And it was Mullins' fall in the area that persuaded the referee to point to the spot, and Mullins himself reaped the dividend.
I think it'll be a double argument. I think Leach will say he fouled me first, he pushed me in the back. And when they look at the replay, the video, they'll say, hold on a minute, you know, it's not even in the box.
Collins, Mackenzie. Williams, cleared by Reeves. Austin. Austin's managed to get inside Leach. This is Simon Roger, and it deflected off his own man, Morrison.
No, Swindon fans are absolutely shell-shocked.
McCammon. Lenigan. Well, Smith almost got himself in trouble. Was that a back pass? It's been judged as such. Hay was closing in on the goalkeeper, but this time Swindon fans pleased with the referee's verdict.
Fraser Stretton's got a lot to think about, isn't he? Smith just tucks out his right foot. Hay says, hey, ref. Palace players now there, it's their turn to be furious.
Furious and worried, presumably. Scott Leach, the man who gave away the penalty, could partly atone for that if he can make something of this. Chris Hay is there as well. It's a really jam-packed penalty area, but is there going to be a gap here for Swindon to force it through and give themselves hope in this game?
I wonder if Hay fancies hitting this. Jimmy Quinn, come on boys, get me one back.
They need to strike quickly and effectively if they're to have any hope at all.
Well, then the ref might just be thinking about a yellow card here. They're all arguing. He's trying to push them back the 10 yards, which means the goal line.
Well, it's going to be a real war. But is it going to cause more problems for Digby? More of a hindrance than a help for him, perhaps?
You just take a little touch and batter it here, Rob.
And it has been battered in, and it's Gareth Hall who's got his first of the season. And And Swindon now with genuine hope.
Well, to be honest, just went wrong. I thought maybe the penalty was a little bit harsh. What a strike from Hall. Off the underside of the crossbar. Palace players rooted to the goal line. Fabulous right foot finish. Leach with a little touch, and he blasts it in, Hall.
Well, Hall's goal means that quite a contest should be remaining now. We're just past the hour mark. And Swindon could get themselves back into this game now.
You know, Rob, sometimes you look at the fixtures, and I have to admit, I wonder what sort of game we're in for a 0-0. And then you think, well, who knows in football? Now we've got a cracker on our hands.
And if Swindon could win it, it could be a watershed match in their season. As devastated as Swindon must have been about the two refereeing verdicts that went against them, they were delighted with Fraser Stretton's judgment of the Jamie Smith back pass.
I really didn't think there was anything wrong with the second goal. The penalty, a bit dubious. Was it outside the box? Was it free kick first? So maybe justice is done here.
Pulled in towards McCammon, but Digby, having made a confident decision to come, claims it.
I have to say, to back up Palace as well, I've seen a lot of back passes worse than Jamie Smith's not been given as a back pass.
He was aware of the danger of Chris Hay coming in. He lifted it back to his goalkeeper. Reeves clearing the decks. He was the man who started the goal scoring off. And it's Jamie Smith with the throw-in. Collins. There's Leach. Williams gets it away to McCammon. We've got Hay and McHugh bursting into the middle. He's held on to it for a long time, and it's finally broken for McHugh. And now McCammon again.
Oh, McCannon's a big leggy lad, isn't he? And he's a little bit unlucky there. Just trying to make sure before he gets his strike away. McHugh backing up. He couldn't get the strike in either. Good pressure from Swindon.
They're showing all the qualities that will be needed in the relegation dogfight that looms for them. But have they got enough to at least get a point? Here's Hay. And he's hit one.
They're coming inside in his left foot. He's had one half chance. Makes a good chance here for himself. Going for power, blasts it well wide.
He's one goal short of the 6 he managed last season. Words for Clinton Morrison from Steve Coppell, who must be concerned at the amount of defending his team is suddenly having to do. Hall. Phelan with the throw. McKenzie. Good break to Carlisle here. Too far ahead of Roger.
I think the third goal went in. Jim Quinn must have thought, here we go again. But suddenly, they're back in with a chance. Stevie Coppell will be disappointed. Sure, there'll be a few arguments afterwards. Was it a back pass? But Smith was certainly under pressure. He got the last touch.
Well, maybe those two decisions have cancelled each other out. Smith's back pass following so hot on the heels of the controversial penalty award that had put Palace 3-1 up. Smith. Reeves missing his kick. Campagna is behind him to tidy up. Williams. Davis.
Palace have got to just keep their cool now. Swindon are going to throw everything at them.
The French flair might be just about to enter the equation. Philippe Cuervo is poised to come on. This is Carlisle. Mullins. Pulled back across by Carlisle for Morrison. And Roger steams in.
Good save. Good save from Talia.
Bright thinking too by the goalkeeper to set Williams away. Already shrugged off Mullins. Hay just delayed it, and that allowed Austin to get there.
That's a good decision from the referee. He's 3 yards away, not falling for the dive. It's a good chance. Started by Carlisle. Good little tuck. Talia at his near post, no problem. That'll do his confidence a load of good, Rob, because I think it was shattered a few moments ago.
Oh, Smith has missed his kick and Hay has nipped in here! And the goalkeeper seemed to get a touch.
It's a great save. Digby makes a great save here. Smith's really having a poor night. That's panicking. Hay on his right foot, surely thinks he scored. Great touch with his left arm from Fraser Digby. This has really, really kept Palace in the game. That's a fine save. His left arm and his knee were out there, just nudging it round the post.
Said seemed to get in touch because the referee awards a goal kick.
That was a goalkeeping save. That was a great save.
Lee Collins is the man who's made way for Philippe Cuervo, the man who, on his game, could win a game. He's been very unlucky with injuries. His 2 appearances this season against Portsmouth and Tranmere have both been as a substitute. He's been struggling to get fit after a bad ankle injury. But his introduction could have come at just the right time here for Swindon. They've been looking positive and purposeful since Gareth Hall got the goal that's really put them in with a fighting chance in this match. A rare goal too for Gareth Hall. Reeves. Leach. Williams. Davis has got forward to support him. It's Cuervo with his first touch.
He went the wrong way, Robbie. Went the wrong way. Should have gone left to Davis.
And Leach's giveaway of possession has suddenly put Swindon under pressure here. Roger manages to find Phelan. McKenzie.
Cuervo had just looked to his left. Davis was on a great overlap. Try to come in on his right foot.
Back from Foster. Mullins coming in.
Stevie Coppell will be concerned now. His team must keep their cool, keep their head. 3 points here gets them clearer away from that relegation zone. And when you're 2 goals ahead, you hang on to it. Suddenly they've given Swindon a lifeline.
Lineker. Austin. Reeves with a clearance. Carlisle's left it for Smith to take. Here's Wayne Carlisle. Palace's confidence suddenly in need of a prompt repair.
It's again when you need a leader out on the pitch there, someone talking, you know, it's Even when you're at your hard game, when people are talking to you, come on, you raise your game again. They need a leader out there. Sometimes, you know, you look at Foster, Mullins, you know, you see a lot of verbal, a lot of shouting, raising your teammates' game. Steve Coppell's having to do it from the touchline.
Big weekend of Premiership action to come from the Stadium of Light. It's Sunderland against Leeds, Sunday at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. And Manchester United against Arsenal is our Monday night football from 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, and that match also available on Sky Sports Extra. Roger. Smith. Williams. This is Reeves. Sam Campagna's ball is aimed at Chris Hay.
Here are really playing too far apart. When a high ball goes to your striker or your mate, you have to react before he gets his head in it, just in case he can nudge it towards you. Too far apart, 30 yards away. Maybe that's the difference. McCammon and Hay too far apart. Morrison, McKenzie playing as a pair.
Leach. Here's Gareth Hall. Over McCammon's head. Leach had just worked his way into the box looking for the knockdown from the big striker. Smith with the throw. Williams. Lilligan snuffing out the threat of McCammon. This is Smith. Roger. Reeves header lands for Foster. Did very well to hold on to that. Carlisle's cross, the flag is up anyway.
A late challenge. Davis just capturing him. It's a good battle again. Carlisle using his pace, but watch Davis get back at him. He's got pace as well. Just slightly late with the challenge.
Roger lining up the free kick. By Morrison. Carlisle strike.
That's good handling, isn't it, from the goalkeeper. Carlisle on his right foot, driving it low. Good stop.
Reeves. This is Leach. And away, this is McKenzie. Oh, Talia seemed late getting down, but he did get there.
That's another fine save. Double save from the goalkeeper, who certainly was at fault for the second goal. Davis getting him out of trouble as well with the reaction. It's a good stop. Just down to his left, sticks out his left arm, just when it looks as if it's sneaking in the far corner.
Williams.
That's better from Smith. Smith struggled a little bit tonight. Williams has really shone against him, but that's better defending.
Reeves on for Williams. And he's managed to pull that one back across. And had that been a more attacking finish from McHugh, then Swindon could have been level.
He knows it as well. What a chance this is after a fantastic cross. You just got to direct that towards goal with a bit of pace on the ball.
Just lacked conviction, the youngster. And Campagna with the header away from danger, which was all that he could do with Talia having come such a long way.
It's not a bad header as well, Rob. You know, he realised he doesn't have a chance to look for his goalkeeper, so get away from the danger area.
How often do we say, but the next goal really is going to be crucial in this contest. Another one for Palace, and surely Swindon's spirit would be broken. Steve Coppell hoping that that's the way the game goes as Roger floats in the corner towards Linnigan.
Linnigan was on the goal line, just come off it. Too much on the header.
A couple of goals this season for Andy Linnigan, both away from home, but both in defeats at Huddersfield and Portsmouth.
Well, you can see we've had plenty of action. 22 on attempts, and on target 13. Not bad for Friday night.
Palace just with the edge of efforts on target, justifying their lead. And Steve Coppell's side hang on. Mackenzie, cleared by Leach. This is McCammon. Philippe Cuervo. Here comes Smith. Williams losing out. It's Mullins who's emerged with it. Tried to play it through to Morrison.
And the ball was only two options there. Right to Mackenzie, left to Morrison.
Davis. Steps Austin. Williams. Linnigan. Roger.
Leave it, leave it, leave it.
Campagna. Morrison committing the foul.
Jimmy Quincy, come on, let's have a little bit more pressure. Last living 12 minutes.
Morrison. This is Roger. Davis having to deal with it as Carlisle was just closing in behind. Hall gets it away to Cuervo. Given away though to Carlisle. Simon Roger in towards Mackenzie. Morrison.
Again, Mackenzie picks out his strike partner. And that's a glorious chance right on the 6-yard line. Morrison just can't get up enough, but look, that's good work, you know. He gets back, gets a touch on it, looks up. It's good play from Mackenzie. And Morrison can't direct it downwards.
Mullins. Cuervo. Good pressure from Foster. Morrison.
Yeah, just try to feel for the top corner there, Morrison.
Williams looking for McCammon. Leach referee now. Will that be the break that Swindon are looking for? McHugh can't get through that. Foster. Cleared by Phelan. Could be a desperate last throw of the dice, but Jimmy Quinn's instruction to Alan Reeves now is to get forward.
Well, why not? Jimmy Quinn probably watching Leicester play Fulham a few nights ago. Well, Walsh and Elliott, go on. Last 10 minutes, get in there.
Now he must wish he was out there. Reeves has got one goal already. In fact, both of Swindon's goals tonight have come from defenders. Gareth Hall getting the other one. Only the second league goal of his Swindon career.
Well, Linnigan just giving a silly little free kick away. That's what I think, with the experience that Andy Linnigan's got, you don't need to do that when you're well, not hanging on, but when you're one goal ahead, time running out, don't give stupid free kicks away.
Leach will be the taker of the free kick. Reeves was in there just trying to cause difficulties for Digby, but he dealt with it well. McHugh fouled by Morrison. Phelan gets it away. Roger. Now Davis will be under pressure here against Mackenzie. Mackenzie going down right on the edge of the box.
Mackenzie's done well tonight. He is quick, he's strong. You see Davis, the arm round him, I'm sure. Referee looks as if Davis is hauling him to the ground, and this is real danger area. A little bit of cramp as well.
Well, it's another refereeing award that's enraged the home fans.
Palace have got plenty of players can hit this as well. Foster, Mullins, they'll both fancy a little strike.
In these troubled times, more worries for the Swindon supporters.
Dean Orson just to the right as well. I wonder if he'll try one.
Foster. Deflected and was beyond the reach of Mackenzie.
7 minutes remaining. You look to get one on target, but closing down, Mackenzie just can't get himself enough off the ground. Davis has definitely got a problem with this cramp.
And they can't really afford to take any risks, so they're going to make a swift change here, and young James Williams, who's only 17 and has only really emerged in the first team on a fairly regular basis this season, comes on to take his place.
I think this boy's played well, Davis. Down the left-hand side, him and Williams have combined well. Both got pace.
Both products of the Swindon youth system that will surely be the lifeblood of the club in the months and years ahead, which is why they can ill afford to lose that under their cost-cutting measures. Roll by Williams, who's had an impressive night, and gets it back here from Reeves. Reeves, true to his manager's instructions, is staying in the attack, and Leach having won it back, that could put Swindon in a promising position. Gorbo's ball, though, good few favours for McHugh. Linnigan managed to evade Leach. Williams. Leach. Free kick against Simon Roger. Into the final 5 minutes then, and time running out here for Swindon. They have to be bold, maybe gamble a little now, Jimmy Quinn's team. It's Leach with the free kick. breaks down after Campagna's ball back is dealt with by Foster and Linnigan.
So one thing about tonight's game, Rob, when defenders have had a chance to really get it clear and clear the lines, they're not doing it. They're scuffing it.
Andy Williams with the throw. This is Cuervo. Williams again. That's Gareth Hall. McCammon. Now Cuervo. Ball that didn't do Leach too many favours, and that one does even fewer favours to his teammates, given away to Foster. The possibility of a break on here for Phelan. Morrison. Now Foster, Mackenzie up ahead, and Carlisle free over to the right is offside.
I was just waiting there. Waiting. It was just delayed. In the end, Swindon pushed up. See him saying, come on, give me it. Well, it's just probably just offside. Needed it earlier.
Well, James Williams has let it go, and Morrison is onside here and can finish it. And does. It's 4-2 to Crystal Palace, and after Swindon's spirited fight, surely they're sunk now.
Well, Talia was coming out here, decided to stay. Smith belts. I was talking about clearances. That's better when you're one goal up. He doesn't panic, does he? With his right foot, good finish. It's Route 1 stuff. Suddenly Talia's in no man's land. Look, scurrying back. Morrison's strength and a good tuck, and that's game, set and match, no doubt about it. Doesn't panic here, has a look, takes it in his right foot and tucks it away beautifully.
8th goal of the season for Clinton Morrison, his 2nd on the night, his 3rd against Swindon this season. And suddenly all of Swindon's hard work may be in vain.
Well, they were gambling, weren't they? Reeves was up front, just caught out with a long ball. The pace of Morrison and Mackenzie was always going to be a threat. And when it fell through to Morrison, this time Campagna got the wrong side of him. And his touch was nice, it just sat nice for him on his right foot. Goalkeeper stranded, nice finish.
Well, there's a free kick going on here, which Swindon could very nearly have scored from, at the same time as Palace were trying to make a substitution.
Well, this is Hayes' 3rd half chance of the match, and it's 10 yards out. Again, the goalkeeper, Digby, no problems.
Clinton Morrison was actually in the process of walking off the field there, his number having been held up. His 2nd goal of the night. He's really won that personal duel with Sam Campagna. He's won the Champagne as the nationwide man of the match. But Clinton Morrison now makes his exit, and Andrew Martin comes on.
And a welcome 3 points to Stevie Coppell's side.
Martin. Now Phelan. Aidan Mullins. Minute of stoppage time to be added.
Just felt, Rob, at the start of the game, I honestly felt the pace of the 2 boys up front for Palace, and said it could be just the difference, and that's the way it's panned out. I think they worked as a pair better than the 2 up front for Swindon. I think they're just enthusiasm, pace and strength was too much, and of course Swindon gambling, pushing Reeves forward.
Swindon lose the first of a sequence of matches that Jimmy Quinn was hoping would bring a win treble for them, and they go into games against West Brom and Grimsby off the back of a home defeat here by Crystal Palace. Leon Mackenzie's strike partner, Clinton Morrison, taken off before the end, but stealing the show with a man-of-the-match display for Steve Coppell's team. And 2 goals as well. Craig Foster, another of their scorers. Terry Phelan signing off a farewell note as he goes back to Everton from where he's been on loan with a win. But Frank Talia will perhaps complain about the challenge on him that led to the 2nd goal. Swindon, as a team, will complain about the penalty decision that put Palace 3-1 up. And despite Swindon then getting a goal back through Gareth Hall, as they gambled looking for the equaliser, they were caught out and Clinton Morrison got Palace's 4th. It all started so well for Swindon with Alan Reeves heading in the opening goal on the night. But before half-time, Clinton Morrison won that first duel with Sam Campagna and got the equaliser. Things then took a distinct turn in Palace's favour. No foul there on Talia, and Craig Foster mopped up by turning home the rebound. And then a penalty that at least only looked like a free kick for the challenge by Leach on the edge of the area. Mullins, who was the victim of that, the beneficiary by converting the penalty. But Swindon then benefited from a refereeing decision. That adjudged a back pass by Jamie Smith, and from the free kick, Gareth Hall rattled in only his 2nd league goal for Swindon. But the game was up for them when Clinton Morrison stole through near the end to sew the match up. His pace and movement, a significant feature on the night. A result that eases Crystal Palace's fears, but adds to Swindon's quite significantly. Swindon 2, Crystal Palace 4.
Thank you, Rob. Now, still to come tonight at 10 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, it's the Friday Night Sports Centre. There's US Tour Golf on Sky Sports 2, action from day 3 of the Bob Hope Classic. On Sky Sports 3, more late-night wrestling in WWF Late Night Raw. And for Sky Digital viewers, coming up on Sky Sports Extra tonight, there's cricket, highlights from today's one-day international between Pakistan and India. And of course, you can keep up to date with all the football news on our 24-hour news channel, Sky Sports News. So, as Rob said, crucial win for Crystal Palace and a potentially disastrous defeat for Swindon. We'll have reaction from the 2 camps after the break.
Mean Guns is an intense new thriller that asks provocative questions.
You do know how to use this, right?
To explain its profound, multi-layered labyrinth plotting would take all...
Let's go.
Okay, they're all criminals who'll blow you away.
Sorry. I couldn't help it.
Starring trigger-happy Christopher Lambert and Ice-T.
Any other question?
Just how many will survive the first showing of Mean Guns tonight at 10 on Sky Movie Max?
Safe, responsive and in control. The new Rover 45, extraordinary drive.
Very overpowering, even as a child. I think he's a natural showman. Sometimes we can't be together, sometimes we have to be apart. We will speak on the telephone at least 8 times a day, and that's wherever we are in the world.
Welcome to your world, from 1 to 1.
There's a voice keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Only NatWest credit cards give you air miles every time you spend. So if you want to see the world for free, call us on 0800 400 005.
Kilos lakrado. Yeah, take it easy.
It surprised them, so it might surprise you. But in the last 3 years, the Royal Navy helped seize illegal drugs with a street value of over £120 million. Royal Navy, the team works. 0345 300 123.
Harry?
Yes?
You've been using the internet at peak rate. And you've run up this enormous phone bill. And this will have to go towards paying for it. And this. And this. And this.
No. No.
Harry?
I dreamt I ran up this huge peak rate phone bill.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. Look.
Now with AOL, it's off-peak all the time, so it's never more than a penny a minute, whatever the time.
So it's cheap rate now?
Well,
Yes, and it'll still be cheap rate in the morning.
Night, Connie.
Night.
It's all part of the service at AOL.
Brian thinks he's a dog. That's why he's not going to Going Places' mega holiday sale. He's missing out on up to 25% off, free insurance and no deposit till March. So don't be barking like Brian. Get down to Going Places' mega holiday sale now. You'd be mad to miss it.
Thomas Taylor.
To give your little ones a head start, send them to Learning Land. Learning Land is the new interactive CD-ROM and magazine you collect every fortnight. It's where Biff, Millie, Tim and Sue introduce your children to letters, numbers and the exciting world around them. And while they're loving every minute, they're gently being introduced to the world of computers. Learning Land, the fun way to get a head start.
Welcome back to the County Ground, where we've seen 6 goals tonight, 4 for the visitors. So Swindon remain marooned at the foot of the First Division. 26 attempts at goal, 16 on target. A lot of entertainment in the second half in particular. If you're a home fan, you won't really have enjoyed too much of it. The one booking was in the first half, Jamie Smith of Crystal Palace. Action areas, dead level in the first 45. Palace with more of the ball overall. And in the second half, the Londoners did more of the attacking as well. We can hear from 2 of their heroes, man of the match Clinton Morrison and his strike partner Leon McKenzie. Both are talking to Alan Bentley.
Clinton, well done. Chances galore in the second half. A big 3 points for you?
Definitely happy with that. Been out for 3 months, come back and scored 2 goals. Very happy with that.
Did you exceed your own expectations tonight then in some respects?
Definitely. I think I'm still carrying the shoulder, but it's still a bit sore. I ain't played for about 3 months. I think this is my 3rd game back, so I was happy to get 2 goals.
The two of you seem to enjoy playing together?
Definitely. We've played together since we were a youth team, and we just work hard for each other. It's a good partnership.
Leon, you're another one who's had some time out this season, so again, a good night for you.
That's right. I'm just happy to get the games in, and it's a great win today, and I'm happy to be partnering Clinton. And he scored 2 great goals today.
We're going to show the second goal. Now, you tell us about your part in this one if you want to look at this.
Just body strength, innit? Keeper's not strong enough for me now.
Your uncle would have been proud of it.
Yeah, it's just, what can I say? Unfortunately, it didn't sort of drop for me to sort of bang it in, but, Fozzie's come in the slid in there and he's done really well there to score.
So as far as you're concerned, no foul?
Nah, just what can I say?
And what it does seem apparent is that whatever the whys and wherefores, or whatever's going on at the club, they seem to be bonding. Everyone seems to be bonding.
Yeah, I mean, whatever happens outside the club, it's just a different issue. We just got to get on with it and play our football. And, we're pulling off the results, really and truly. And I'm just happy to see us get victories.
Is that how you feel as well, Clinton? Because there have been people looking at you.
Oh, yeah, there's been a few clubs looking at me, but I had an injury with my setback. But I'm enjoying my time here at Palace, and I just want to stay and score goals at the moment.
So you go straight to the bench for the first one. Was there a message there?
No, I just said to the gaffer, you can't drop me now. I want to stay in the team forever now.
Well done to both of you. Clinton, you're our nationwide man of the match if you want to take that. Well done to both of you.
Two players with plenty of confidence and very promising futures. They were a real handful tonight, weren't they? No real surprise that Leon McKenzie didn't suggest for a moment that he'd climbed all over the Swindon goalkeeper Frank Talia. And Ray, you're inclined to agree with him as far as that second goal is concerned, aren't you?
Yeah, I must admit, Marcus, I have seen free kicks given for less, but I think Clinton jumps plainly for the ball. He's got a tremendous leap on him as Leon. And what he does, he jumps nice and early, and he more or less covers Frank up. He can't get off the floor, Frank Talia.
But I mean, he's being impeded. That's why, isn't he?
If you look at his eyes, Marcus, at no stage does he look at Frank Talia. He's looking at the ball. And for me, he jumps cleanly and fairly.
So if you were the Swindon manager tonight, you would be quite happy about that second goal?
I'd be very upset. Because as I said before, I've seen him given for less.
Yeah.
But the ball was there to be won, and he went for it.
And what about the penalty, Nigel?
I didn't think it was a penalty, but as we were talking about luck at the beginning of the game, Swindon had no luck tonight on that decision and the penalty decision. I don't think that was a foul, as Ray says, but the penalty for me wasn't a penalty. If there's anything there, it's a foul on Scott Leach in the first place, and also the foul that the referee's given a penalty is actually outside the box. You see it there, he clips his heel there, but I thought it was a foul the other way round to start with. But Hayden Mullins steps up and coolly slots that in the bottom corner. Lovely penalty, keep it the other way, and he just knocks it in the corner.
The throw to Scott Leach wasn't great either, was it?
No, we spoke about that, Marcus, didn't we, off air? And to throw the ball infield with someone up your backside as that was thrown was wrong. But Sol's only a young man, I'm sure he'll learn by that.
Let's have a word with the victorious manager this evening, Steve Coppell. Steve, good evening to you.
Evening.
Now, you described the game as a massive one, so obviously this is a massive victory for you.
Yeah, it is. We were beaten last week by Barnsley after a couple of good results, and if we'd have come here tonight and been beaten again, then it would have looked very hard for us the rest of the season. We've got some very difficult games to play at home. We've had a good home record, but I think we've got 9 games left at home, and 7 of those against promotion teams. So it's important for us to pick up on our away form, and it was vital for us tonight. I think if a team from below you does beat you, then it creates great self-doubt.
You've got 35 points now, Steve. How many more do you think you need to be absolutely clear of the relegation zone?
Well, I've stopped setting targets many years ago when I was manager. When we were in the Premiership, I set myself one year a target of 48, and eventually we went down on 49. So I don't even look at it that way now. I think, you know, the First Division is such a war zone. You know, you look at the top teams, they've lost 5, 6, 7 games. The teams acknowledged as the best sides have lost that number of games. The bottom teams are always capable on occasion of beating the top sides. It's such a difficult league from a week-to-week test that you just got to concentrate on the next game, the old cliche, concentrate on the next one and try and get those 3 points.
The thing that stood out for me tonight, Steve, listening to you before the game, watching you during it, you really seem to be relishing this challenge. Everyone knows the problems you've got at Selhurst Park. It does seem to be bringing out the best in you and your squad.
Well, I think the emphasis there is on the squad. You know, we've not been able to purchase a player probably now for about 13, 14 months. And in a way, that does bring out the best in you as a manager and a coach, because you do know you have to work with the players that you have. It's not a question of, well, my fullback's not playing very well, so I'll get a new fullback. You know the players you have are the ones you're going to work with for some time. You can't go into the transfer market. We have the option of loan signings, and Terry Phelan's last game tonight, so it could well be that we do need a defender just to supplement our back 4, back 5. We're fragile on occasion for suspensions and injuries, but the players, week in, week out, have relished the challenge and the test just as much as I have.
Is there any chance at all of you getting Terry Phelan back for the rest of the season? I know that that's what you want.
Well, we're all going out to buy a lottery ticket for tomorrow. I think that's the only opportunity. We can sign Terry on a free transfer, but realistically, how can we negotiate a contract with him when chances are we can't pay the contract? I don't think many players will sign a contract in those conditions. And until we get more financial stability, it would be a nonsense of anyone at Crystal Palace to make promises to the players.
Fair enough. Your front two look pretty promising as individuals and as a combination, don't they?
Well, yes, Clinton's come back quicker than perhaps he should have done. Matt Svensson's been doing really well for us up front, and he was injured last week. Clinton has come back, and I think if you look at him running, you can still see he sort of tucks his right wing, his right arm in as a wing, and but he's clever. He uses his body really well. He's got pace when he needs it, and he can see a goal. And I think that was apparent tonight. You could see his strength, even though he is still favouring one side.
A little question mark about Leon McKenzie for the Crystal Palace second goal. I'm sure as the Palace manager, you thought it was a perfectly fair jump and that second goal was a perfectly legitimate one.
Yeah, I think it was just the referee tonight. You know, he seemed to let an awful lot of contact go. I heard Ray speaking, and he was saying, if you look all the time, that Leon just has got eyes only for the ball. He jumps early, he's got a terrific spring, and I think the goalkeeper couldn't really get off his feet. You could question the arm there. You know, I'd be the first to say that a different referee, a different night, that would have been a free kick. But I must admit, it was sweet when the referee was pointing to the centre circle.
Very sweet. And briefly, the penalty as well. Have you had a chance to have a look at that yet? Here it is now.
I just saw a little bit there.
Be honest, Steve.
Well, it looked a blatant penalty to me. No, he just clips him there. But look how marginal that is. You slow that down 3 or 4 times. The referee's got to make a decision on the spot. I think all managers now are philosophical enough to realise that some you win, some you lose. You know, it went for us this week. There'll be a couple of weeks in the future where it'll go against us. You just have to accept it and get on with things.
Well, thanks for talking to us tonight, Steve. Many congratulations. Try and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Steve Coppell, his Crystal Palace side, up to 35 points, as I mentioned. They're safe from relegation now, aren't they? I
think if they show that commitment and passion they show tonight, and they've got obviously the front two who can score goals and create chances for each other, I think they'll stay up. I think you'd have to say that Swindon after tonight losing at home, just on that edge where it looks like they're going to go down.
It was quiet for the first 17 minutes or so, then the first glimpse of what Messrs McKenzie and Morrison can do, right?
Yeah, they work very hard together. The two lads that have grown up together, they know each other's game inside out, so that's a great assistance for them both. They defended poorly there. I think we've got to give Swindon a bit of credit for the ball that was played in. Reeves gets a good run. Neither lad is actually picking him up, and it's in the back of the net, but what a fabulous ball in.
Just what Swindon needed at that stage, but I think as has been the case, they can't hang on to it.
They can't hang on to it, but great strength and pace here. Doesn't panic, gets around Gareth Hall as well, and tucks it across the goalkeeper. Always going across the goalkeeper, going to score. But the thing is that you know, they chase the game, work hard. They're a goal down. They're not a beaten side, Crystal Palace. And if you've got youngsters in your side, they're going to give their all, and that's what they're doing together. They know each other very well. A lot of the team from the youth set up, and they want to do well for Crystal Palace, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you can't drop him after that performance tonight, can he?
No, he can't. I was at Kingstonian watching one of our reserve games against Palace, and Clinton was there, and Steve was there also. And he was nagging him that night that he must play him. Although he wasn't fit, he wanted to play. So that's a real plus as far as Steve's concerned. He's got the lads running for a brick wall for him at the moment, and I think the two lads up front did exceptionally well for him.
That was a bit hopeful, wasn't it?
You'll change your mind, Marcus, on that one.
I think, as Ray said, he's definitely looking at the ball, you can see, and that's not a foul. I think Frank Talia can't jump because he's actually coming down. It's not a foul.
I think we've all just become accustomed to seeing referees support goalkeepers in that situation.
Don't forget Craig Foster scored that goal. We
haven't mentioned that. Well done, Craig Foster, for keeping his concentration.
Yeah, just followed in. Gareth Hall couldn't get it away. But this one, I didn't think it was a penalty. The referee's given it, and Hayden Mullins, very cool.
Wasn't far away, the referee, was he, to be fair?
No, he wasn't. And I think Steve hit on the point. We've slowed it down loads of times. The ref has to make a split-second decision. But what a fabulous penalty kick.
Cool as you like, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Very good.
It's also good what Steve said about, you know, the referee letting a few things go, which is good to see. That's what we get in our football. We've seen that recently.
There's the back pass, which led to all sorts of chaos, and a great finish from Gareth Hall.
Great. I didn't know why Fraser just didn't volley that one as it came back to him from Smith's pass. He only had to stick his foot behind that, and I'm sure he would have got it away, but a great finish from Gareth. Again, great hold-up play. That's Clinton Morrison again. He's just holding the ball up and waiting for Simon Roger to appear, and gave him a good ball back.
Big chance here.
Again, that's your luck. Down there, it's not going to go in the back of the net for Chris Hay. And then this was a good finish, gets away, good strength again, and a cool finish, just slipped it under the goalkeeper, didn't panic, didn't try and go round him, just knocked it, passed it into the back of the net.
Bit of a sharp mover as well, Clinton, isn't he?
He certainly is.
I think he was thinking of that discotheque floor when he put that one in. But didn't blast any of them. The first one he pushed in, and the second one he pushed in. He was very cool and calculated on both goals.
Yeah, he looks a good player. Both of them look very good players. Here's the bottom of the table. There's no change. Hasn't been any change right at the bottom for a very long time. Swindon just 18 points from 28 games. Crystal Palace moved level on points with Bolton, but Wanderers do have a much better goal difference. Let's hear from the Swindon manager, Jimmy Quinn. He's talking with Alan Bentley.
Jim, it wasn't to be, but you go away pleased with the commitment tonight?
I think the commitment was spot on. I thought we gave them 3 goals, really. 2 long balls. We didn't defend properly, and I've just seen the one with Frank in the replay, and he could have made a better decision. Bit unhappy with that. Initially, I thought the lad fouled him, but
next centre forward.
I've done enough of that in mid-time, and gone in on keepers, and usually the keeper gets the benefit of the doubt. But I thought the referee was spot on that occasion.
What about the penalty?
It was too far away to see. I've just seen it on the replay, and it looked like it was just on the corner of the box. But the referee's only got an instant to make a decision, and he thought it was a penalty, and that was that. But we had a go, and I think Chris Hay had a chance to make it 3 years. I think if that had gone, it might have been a different story. But we can't keep giving away poor goals like we did tonight.
Thank you, talk to you. Cheers.
Disappointing night for Jimmy Quinn. Ray, Nigel, thank you very much indeed for your company once again.
Pleasure.
Can Swindon survive? We shall discover. We've got more live action this weekend here on Sky Sports. Some terrific action from the Premiership. Super Sunday, Stadium of Light, a small matter of Sunderland and Leeds from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra. A long winter ahead for Jimmy Quinn and co, but the Eagles are rising. From us all for now, it's goodbye.
Duckham's, sponsors of the Nationwide Football League on Sky Sports.
What are you doing later?
Eh? I don't know, I'm cream crackered. I'll go home, put my plates up and watch a movie.
What's showing?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I've got Sky Digital.
Well, how does that help?
Well, he's always saying good to watch.
What, this time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's no problem.
That's what my mate's getting Sky Digital.
For more information or to get Sky Digital, call 0870 240 2000. Because 90% of road accidents are caused by driver error, Daewoo have introduced an important new safety feature in their cars. A safer driver. Free Institute of Advanced Motorist driving course with every car. That'll be the Daewoo. There's something amazing going on at Boots Opticians. A quite unbelievable half-price frame sale. A sale that all Boots brand frames want to be in. A sale so good, even some designer frames want to be part of it.